left-handed. Oh, and pitch it late. Grigsby's going to break it. Grigsby's in. Oh, he's got a wide open Kai Harris for the touchdown.
Welcome to Shawnee Mission District Stadium at Shawnee Mission South. Tonight's matchup between the 0-1 Shawnee Mission West Vikings and the 1-0 Shawnee Mission West Raiders. I'm David Compton doing play-by-play, Mike Relihan doing the analysis, Chris Turner doing the camera and game analysis, DJ Turner doing the production and game analysis. A lot of analysis tonight. Todd Walker is tonight's statistician. Welcome to tonight's game. West is looking for its first win after dropping last week's game to Shawnee Mission Northwest 16-14. West led most of the game, but Northwest kicked a field goal with 4:30 remaining for the difference. Shawnee Mission South is coming off a 23-0 shutout over Shawnee Mission North. Coach Tim Callahan is 103-55 overall at West, and West holds a 36-23-1 advantage in the all-time series against Shawnee Mission South. South won last year's contest 33-14, the first time that Callahan has ever lost to Shawnee Mission South as the West head coach, and breaking an overall 20-game losing streak to Shawnee Mission West. Brett Oberson is starting his fourth year at South and is 5-23 at overall. May look a little bit different tonight. West is actually the visitors visiting team and will be on the far sideline. Usually South gets on the near sideline, but tonight we're going to switch it up just a little bit. So I'd like to welcome in, as the Shawnee Mission South band takes the field, I'd like to welcome in Mike Relihan and Chris Turner. And guys, we didn't get our win last week, but a pretty close game. And as you looked at the schedule starting, you probably looked at these two games here and said, hey, West probably needs to get one of these two games tonight.
Well, you know, what I liked about the game last week, Dave, is, and I heard you say it probably the best, West kind of got their mojo back. I think that at the end of last year, you know, the way the season was going, it was really hard for the kids to get up each week. And this last week, I loved first of all, coming out of the first two drives, you got to see them score twice, and really get into the game early on. As you said, unfortunately, we didn't get the win, but I think they got some swag back. I think they're coming into this week feeling pretty good about themselves, and I like our chances.
Yeah, it was really nice to see them get their swagger back, and especially on defense. And they really played well defensively. So if you're looking at, though, this week's matchup, with the teams. Shawnee Mission West, Shawnee Mission South. Last week, if you're looking at the stats for both last week, fairly even stats in total yards. And it probably shows in the team matchup head-to-head that they're a fairly even team.
Yeah, when you look at it, with regard to last week's stats, almost identical, Dave. If you break it down by category, I mean, when we're looking at total offense, West, it was at 240, a little edge over South at 218. You break it down between pass and run. Both teams obviously are running teams. West a little more successful in pass, 98 yards versus South's 44. When it comes to rushing, there's where they're pretty much a similar team. They both like to run the ball. They both like to pound the ball. South, you're going to see a lot of option tonight. The quarterback, Jake Roberts, really likes to run the ball and is very successful. West is typical West. They're going to pound the ball at you and they're going to try to wear you down. A little disappointing from a scoring standpoint. When West came out with 14 points in the first quarter, in the first two drives, you really thought that the offense was back on track. Unfortunately, we stalled there and we only had the 14 points. South had 23 points, but again, deceptively, it doesn't show in their offense because 14 of the points came on defensive scores, a fumble recovery and an interception return. Break down into turnovers, 1 turnover each, so really not that bad on both sides. West, a poor game with regard to execution last week, Dave. 11 penalties for 108 yards. Definitely got to do something about that this week. And no recorded stats on South, but watching that game, kind of the same game with North. Not a real pretty game. Both teams struggling in the first week.
Yeah, that was one of the things you mentioned in that. You mentioned for last week's matchup that there was really, well, last week's game, it was nice to see West come out and really and get a quick start. 14 points right off the bat and get that quick start, but they couldn't sustain it last week. That's what I think they really need to do is try to sustain that a little bit more throughout the game.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Once, like you said, they came on the first 2 drives looking really good, firing on all cylinders, and then they moved the ball upfield, but unfortunately, every time they got some momentum going, it seemed like it was a costly penalty that dropped them back and forced them to punt. So really, I think this week, I'm sure the coaches went back, and I'm sure they hammered it in that, hey, let's play a clean game this week, get rid of the penalties, and we'll put some points on the board just by sheer purpose of being able to drive the ball downfield and not knocking ourselves backwards. They were penalizing themselves. They were hurt more by themselves than they were by who did they play last week?
Well, they had a lot of penalties that hurt them. I mean, both sides really did. It was kind of a lot of flags during the game, but really their defense played really good last week, I think, and really Northwest just had 2 big kind of passing plays that hurt them. But other than that, I thought the defense played really, really good.
Yeah, Northwest really hurt themselves with penalties in the first half, and West sort of stifled themselves in the second half with those penalties. So talking about those, who was there last week, some of these guys you're looking at for keys this week were some of those guys who stepped up early last week.
Yeah, obviously we're going to start with the quarterback. We're going to talk with C.J. Callahan, and when I hear, they're going to take what he can get this week. What you're going to see out of this defense for South is they want to keep everything in the box. So they're going to really stack the box, Dave. They're going to drive their ends upfield. And I think what's going to happen with West is they're going to try to pound the ball inside if there's no success there. One of the things I did notice on film was that their defensive backs are playing a little soft, and I think there's some opportunities there. So it's really a matter of, I think West is going to have to feel them out this week and kind of see what's working. I like Dante Smith-Posey. I like his opportunity right tackle this week just by the way the South defense lines up. I think he's got an opportunity to get to the second level, get to the linebackers, and I think it's going to open up their running game. Loved what I saw the first week out of Jameer Simpson. Kid's got a lot of speed. He finds himself loose. He's got good hands. He had a little trouble with the ball at the end of the game, but I think there's an opportunity there.
We're going to take a real quick break from our pregame for the national anthem. The Shawnee Mission South Raider Band with the national anthem, and Mike will get back in, and Chris will get back into the impact players, West players. One guy you mentioned in that impact players is Jameer Simpson, and he really does. He had some big plays. The second touchdown was all him, a run and then a 65-yard touchdown reception and had one late that probably should have had two, which would have been a big play too.
Right.
But you definitely see the potential for big plays in him.
No, and I like what he brings to the offense because he's that big play guy. He's got the speed. He can get loose. If the defense, definitely I can guarantee they're going to target him this week because they can't afford to get him get loose in the backfield. A couple other guys that I think I'm targeting this week, Dave, is Clark and Humphreys. Just by looking at what South is going to give you, they like to play soft on defense. They stack in the middle. They put their defensive backs back. They're basically, it's kind of a bend but don't break type defense. There's a lot of room underneath. I would love to see these guys get open in space, get the ball underneath to them, and then let them run with the ball. And then lastly, I like the 1-2 punch we have with Kenny and Gilliard. I think there's a real opportunity. Keep those guys fresh, bang away at the line, and I really think that in the second half, kind of West type ball, you're going to see some holes break open, and I like the idea of these guys kind of wearing the defense down.
So as Chris was mentioning about last week, we really thought that the defense stepped up and played pretty well. So who are these? These are four of those guys, that probably five guys really, that made an impact in last week's game. Now, Nishak played early and didn't play as much late, but these guys are going to have to. We're going to have a good game to control that option.
Kind of, and that's and not to underscore some of the other players. The reason why I picked these guys is I thought these guys are real integral to the game plan this week. When you look at South on film, obviously they run option about 60% of the time. The quarterback likes to keep the ball. What I'd really like to see is I think the West is going to really key their defensive ends. I think Mishak and I think Gage Jones and Galise, whoever's playing on the ends, they're going to drive upfield and they're going to have to contain him between the tackles. They make him run between the tackles. Then you got the inside guys. You got Gilliard, you got Luke Jones who are going to contain from the inside. That's really 71% of their offense was through quarterback Jack Roberts, but he only had 44 yards through the air. The rest of it was on the ground, about 110 yards on the ground. Really likes to keep the ball. I think, like you said, I think you put some pressure on him. I think it'd make it really difficult for South to move the ball tonight.
One of those things we talked about that we just found out here before the game is that Luke Jones, who's the starting running back or starting fullback and also starting linebacker, is going to be out tonight. So we'll see who fills in his spots right there. I expect maybe Joseph Cadillo to go in at fullback, and we'll see who goes in his spot at middle linebacker spot. South's offense, we talked about Carpenter. Everything probably starts with Carpenter.
Roberts,
Roberts.
Okay. No, Carpenter's.
How many Carpenter? I'm like, am I like years behind here?
No, you're fine.
I got a tailback.
So yeah, Jack Roberts. I think everything revolves around this guy. Big quarterback, 6'3", moves really well. What we saw last week is, again, predominantly running game. These guys are going to run out of several formations, but they're going to run the option. They're just going to pound with the option. What you'll see is they like to run kind of a jet sweep and use that guy as the trailer in their option. My feeling is that as goes Jack Roberts, as goes Shawnee Mission South. He's the guy. He was 71% of their offense last week. I like Hunter Carpenter. The reason why I like this guy, he's so versatile. I mean, he's a guy that he'll play running back, he'll play flanker, and he's a punter. And they'll put him in a punt situation. They always play kind of a short punt, and he's a rugby-style kicker. He does a nice job. Briscoe is a guy I think that last week he didn't show much, but I think he's got some big play opportunities. And then you got this big wide receiver, 6'5". They actually list him on the program at 6'6", Will Higgins. We'll see if they try to get the ball to him through the air this year or tonight.
So we'll go back with some South defense players, which they're gonna start on defense. It looks like West they won the toss, and West and deferred, and West will receive. There's a nice run back by Trayvon Gilliard up to the 21-yard line. So that's where West will set up shop there. And as we look at their South's defense, who are we going to look here for on defense?
Well, first of all, like I said, you're going to look at the nucleus of this 3-4 defense. You're going to see everything trying to contain from inside. You got two really good linebackers. You got number 30, Miles Tuttle, really quick, 3 tackles for loss last week that I think is going to be an impact player off the end. Brett Harrison's their enforcer up the middle, super aggressive first step to the hole.
And did we ever figure out who 66 is?
I did. Yes,
He's on
we'll talk to it. It's,
okay.
Parrish Bruce.
Okay, good, because he was a monster in the middle there. So there's the give right up the middle on the first play.
And kind of what we said, they're going to really try to funnel things to the middle. They're going to force you that way, and right into our big man we talked about. So Parrish Bruce, number 66, last week actually didn't have. I don't think he was recorded as a tackler, but what he does is in the middle at nose guard, he's going to take up 2 blockers every time, and what it does is frees up those linebackers.
So Gilliard with 1 yard on first down to make a 2nd and 9 with 11:21 left to go here in the first quarter. There's the throw out to Wesley Clark for a gain of about 4. He gets up to the 26-yard line from the 22 to the 26. There was one thing we just talked about. I know we talked about on the ride over too. Is there may be a little bit more. They play soft underneath. Maybe a little bit more to have CJ stay in the pocket and just hit those quicks underneath. That was just a quick hitch, and he got a good 4 yards out of it.
I like that too, Dave. I think that you hit the nail on the head there. I think there's lots of room underneath. I think CJ's got a big arm. It'd be a nice week for him to break out and throw a lot of balls.
So 3rd and 5 here, and we'll see who jumped. Both teams are pointing at each other. And it is Joseph Cadillo who's starting at fullback, and it looks like it's going to go.
South jumped first. I don't know, because we went after South. It looked like to me, but
yeah.
Once they were in the neutral zone, our fullback jumped, but
and that is one thing with yes, and good. That's going to go against South, and here's the one thing with high school, like you said, Chris. Once you're across in the neutral zone in high school, it's the penalties called, and it's a dead ball. You should be calling that then. So that's a first down. So a penalty, a 5-yard offsides penalty, neutral zone infraction on Shawnee Mission South will make it a 1st and 10. Shawnee Mission West at the 31-yard line. Callahan under center. One thing that we're seeing here tonight is a traditional I with him under center. Gilliard gets it back out to the line of scrimmage, no gain. Last week was almost all shotgun snaps, and so far everything's been under center.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting with him under center. I think what they're trying to do there, Dave, is possibly with as much run game as we have, is trying to set up the play action pass, maybe soften the linebackers up so they're not, because they tend to attack a lot to the line of scrimmage.
So no gain on that play. 10:08 left to go here in the first quarter, and they maybe gave him a yard. There's the pass, and looks like Singh just sort of jumped under there on the route to Wesley Clark, and really just a sort of a 50-50 ball right there, and neither one of them could come up with the catch.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I mean, what I'm seeing tonight is they're playing a little tighter than they have in the past. I like West's approach to that, though. I like to trying to attack the defense like that. They need to do that because they have to soften up those linebackers for the run.
So West with another 3rd down, 3rd and 9 here. There's the give right up the middle of Cadillo, and he's going to go forward for 4 yards, but that'll be a 5 yards short for West. It'll be 4th down and 5. And bring Reuben Anderson out here to punt. And
I didn't see Jameer that whole offensive series, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Chris. You're a big play guy like that. If anything, you want him on the field just to take up bodies.
9:24 left to go here. Reuben Anderson standing at his 21-yard line to receive the snap from Xavier Gleese. There's the snap, the kick, low spinning kick. It's going to get a good bounce, but South picks it up, gets good return all the way up to about the 48-49 yard line. So I think that was
Hunter Carpenter.
That was Hunter Carpenter who took that. So and they'll start there at their own 48-yard line. So,
and this is what I think is key to tonight, Dave, is the short field. I think special teams is going to be a big key. Both teams struggling a little bit on offense. Whoever is going to control the field is going to be the team that's going to have the advantage.
So Briscoe lines up as the back behind behind Roberts. And there's going to be the option, little pitch. And Roberts is just making guys miss over there and gets 11 yards all the way to the 41-yard line of Shawnee Mission West. Good bit of shifty running there.
Yeah, and it's funny when you watch him, Dave. He's not that electric runner, but he's very good on his feet. He shifts, he stops and starts. He's a big guy, so he's not as easy to bring down. And 11 yards was a nice run.
Yeah, so, they had a couple guys there to tackle him. They just didn't wrap him up.
He sidestepped well on that one. So a first down at the 41-yard line of Shawnee Mission West. Roberts back to take the shotgun snap. Spinner, a little spinner series, gives straight ahead to Briscoe, and he's going to drive well. Kyoko with the tackle, but not before Briscoe gets 6 yards on that carry, all the way down to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I picked up too, Dave, on looking at film is these guys are going to run the ball 70. I forget what it was, something like 75% of the time on first down. So I mean, it's no surprise, and it's really no surprise doing the option as well.
So 8:12 left to go here in the first quarter. Again, same personnel in here. Roberts in the shotgun with Briscoe back behind him. Roberts going to throw for the first time tonight. And he's got a nice little strike out there for the first down, a 6-yard gain. And that, I believe that was that Sean Kirby with the catch? Okay, Tinich. So number 20, Nolan Timich with the catch there for 7 yards and a first down to the west 29-yard line. Interesting that we saw Carpenter so much last week at tailback, and Briscoe's been the tailback here. So Roberts is fake. We let him get away, and he tried to get his big tight end, number 34, Will Huggins, is a big target out there, but at his feet.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, nice pressure brought by Kenny on that one, and I think that's going to be key tonight. You know, get some pressure on this quarterback. Didn't have a lot of success last week passing the ball, so anytime we can get some pressure on him, that's good.
So here's the second down and 10 play with coming on 7.5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Roberts again will live in the shotgun, I think, all night.
Right.
There's the give to Briscoe right up the middle, and he's got it for a nice little 7-yard gain up to the 23-yard line of West. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3.
You know, and he got limited carries last week. I think he ran the ball about 10 times, and maybe he had 35 yards or so. But you can just tell he had lots of there were times when they ran the option. He's available as a pitch guy. They just didn't get the ball to him. And I think if he has some success tonight, I would be surprised they give him the ball a lot.
So big third down and 3. Probably going to see them go for it on 4th down if they don't get it here. There's the pitch back to the spinner back, and there's going to be a illegal block, or probably block in the back on Briscoe out here that's going to bring that first down carry back. So there's a hold. There's a hold on Briscoe that brings that back. So it negates about the 5-yard carry and the first down. So that'll take it back. It was about the 22-yard line, so it'll take it back to the 32-yard line and bring up 3rd and 12.
Boy, that was big, Dave. You saw them execute the option. I mean, obviously they executed with the help of a little bit of a hold, but I did see Roberts pitch. I don't think I saw him pitch the ball once last week.
Interesting where they marked that, because if they called that on Briscoe, that was definitely in the backfield.
Right.
But that must have been at the line of scrimmage. I didn't hear the player that he called.
Yeah, they came from the back, Judge, so it's possible it was somebody up in the line.
Yeah, so it's so 3rd and about 10, maybe right at 10.5. And there's Roberts rolling out to his left. He's trying to get his shoulder squared. And it's almost picked by Cadeau for West out there. Nice job of stepping underneath that throw and almost getting the pick on the sideline.
Yeah, and a nice job by Andrew Kinney coming up. I like that. I mean, he's coming up quick. He's not giving Roberts any time. Roberts gets rid of the ball, and nice job by Cadeau jumping that route. Could have been an interception.
So fourth, and the incompletion brings up 4th and 10, 6:36 left to go here in the first quarter. Now here's one thing to watch is
Carpenter, right?
Carpenter is the punter too. Now he set it offset, so you think they're going to go for it. Well,
right.
But they may snap back to him and pooch punt this back and try to pin West deep if they can't draw him off sides, and that's not going to be the case. Roberts trying to get back, and they're all meeting. Very nice. Dante Smith-Posey with the sack, an 11-yard loss on the play, and that'll be West's ball. Hey, I tell you what, that worked just like West got the first down on that 3rd and 10 play before because they're where they would have been before. It's nice.
Isn't that funny? You look at the net gain of that whole possession was less than 10 yards now, where West takes over the ball.
Yeah. So after those couple of big plays there, they only got 9 yards. Or actually 10 yards. They started at the 48 and they got to West takes back over at the 42. So West is going to the shotgun here, single back shotgun. They got Cadillo out in the tight slot. There's going to be the give to Gilliard, who's going to try to bounce it outside. If he can get out there, nice. He's up to the 48-yard line of Shawnee Mission South. They're going to mark him out at the 49, so he's going to have a 9-yard gain, 1 yard short. Nice little run by Trevon Gilliard, trying to get outside there.
Give the Big some credit on that one on the inside because he had 5 yards the day before he ran into everybody, but the last 4 yards, I'll tell you what, I think he had 20 yards in the last 4 running side to side.
So a 2nd and 1 with 5:54 left to go here. Humphreys split out to the left, 2 slots to the right, or tight left. Gilliard's just going to try to get in to get his first down. He didn't. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 there. So West was going back to the shotgun, single back, faking the throw. So it's reverse play action pass.
I liked it. I liked the formation set. It gave him a passing look, even though they did the handoff underneath. But again, giving South's defense a lot to look at here with the different formations.
So back to the I formation, and Callahan fakes the give and goes ahead for 2 yards and a first down. So I tell you what, that's one thing where CJ being a big kid is to his advantage there.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you have a quarterback that size and you have 1 yard, I don't know why you'd hand the ball off.
So 1st and 10 after the 2-yard gain. 5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. West 1st and 10 at the South 47-yard line. So both teams have been in each other's territory so far. No score yet. Callahan is getting out to his left and dropped by Will Humphreys there at the 39-yard line. And pretty good ball right there by Callahan to Humphreys. One thing I'm encouraged by there is CJ was able to get it. Now he's going to his left, his natural side, but he was able to get outside and get past that press. Yeah, get past that the rush upfield.
Made a nice pass and then unfortunately just dropped it.
So a 2nd and 10, 4:46 left to go here. There's the pitch to. It's a pitch wide to Andrew Kinney, who made a really nice 40-yard run about the first time he touched the ball last week. He gets 2 yards on this one. It'll bring up a 1 yard. Give him 1 yard. A 3rd and 9. 4:25 left to go here.
I like what West was trying to do on that, Dave, though, because we talked about how they're going to try to funnel you up the middle and with their ends coming straight upfield. So again, trying to get outside that tackle box and run wide. Just give South some credit. Their cornerback and their safety came up and made a nice play.
So back to the I formation. 2 sit out to the right. And there's the give in the backfield to Kinney, and nothing doing. They got a really good push on that.
Yeah, it really wasn't much going on that one. They were trying to give a typical action, typical pass position, and then trying to run a draw off it. But unfortunately, there's just too much push up the middle.
So it'll bring up a 4th and 11. So a loss of About a loss of 2 on that play. Or loss of 1, sorry, on that play.
Back to punt for the Vikings.
Yeah, and I think this, like you said earlier, I think this is going to be a real field position game. You know, who's ever can take advantage of the short field. Now, both teams had it close to the 50-yard line and really didn't gain more than 9 yards. So, for West to be able to pin them back here, it could be a decided advantage.
So, a wobbly kick's not going to go very far. We get a little bit of a West bounce down to the 27-yard line. So, only about a 21-yard punt there by Anderson, and that'll be South's ball at the 28-yard line of their own 28-yard line. So here we'll, we didn't get into this before the game, but what are some of West's keys to victory tonight? One, we talked about shutting down Roberts. He's most of their offense.
Yeah, like we said, Roberts is 71% of their offense. I think what I just touched on a little while ago was they're going to try to funnel to the middle, so if they can get outside the tackle box, we tried that with the sweep. Or the other thing is get to the second level. I think Dante Smith-Post has got a real opportunity to get to the linebackers. I'll let you do the play and we'll get back to it.
So Roberts on the little jet sweep, he's going to keep it, go forward for about 1 yard, only a yard.
Roberts with the keeper.
There, and as we looked at that, I'll say one thing, it's early, and it was good, but your last key there, we've been clean so far, which we weren't at all last week.
No, 11 penalties. We killed ourselves more than the other team, which was unfortunate. And then what we did see was West trying to attack the soft zone by the South defense.
Roberts is going to throw the quick strike out to number 28, Parker Minnick, who's going to take it forward for about 5 yards. So I give Minnick 5 yards up to the 34-yard line. And it'll bring up third and 5.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5 with 2:20 left to go here. And we'll see what South can do on this 3rd down play. Roberts again will always be there. There's a fumble, and that could be. Oh, they jump on it. So they tried to run that little spinner series to Timich coming around, and they'll run those guys 2 ways. They'll run this traditional jet sweep where he comes underneath. They'll run that sort of, I call it a spinner series back where he's coming back behind the quarterback, which is what they did there, and neither one of them could handle the snap, but they both jump on the ball.
Now this is interesting. I don't think all last week I saw them line up in this formation for punt. They always punted kind of almost like a shotgun type formation with Carpenter doing a rugby style kick, and they were successful with it because he go downfield. The other team never got to return it, and he averaged, but about 38 yards off punt.
So Carpenter's a punter, and he right off the side of his foot. Tell you what, that may be our ball at the 40-yard line.
Yeah.
Hey,
exactly.
I can do this in my sleep, can't I? So, as we look in some of these things, though, as we switch out here, what are some of South's keys to victory?
Well, again, their offense revolves around running the ball, so it's just going to be being successful with the option. I say special teams because I like what they've done prior to this punt in the past is they've kept the other team in a short field.
1st and 10.
And field position very much of an advantage for us, and that one is about a 10-yard punt. Callahan's going to get it out to that's a nice job. Cadillo he steps out at the 29-yard line, but has a first down, 11-yard gain to Joseph Cadillo on that pass.
I love that, David. That's perfect. I think that sitting up under center is helping them open up that play action pass. We get the guy open in the flats, and that just lots of good things there in that situation.
So Martin Hines' helmet came off there as the center for the West Vikings, and number 65, Carter Johnson's going to have to come in for a play here. I tell you what, there's a lot of guys there that we haven't seen. Alex Rosado in there at the tight end position for Xavier Gleese. So there's the quick pass to Will Humphreys, who gets it up to the 22-yard line. So a nice 7-yard gain on first down. And there it is. Just take what they're giving that underneath. Go take it.
And I love it. I love it. You know, going away from your tendencies. So, I mean, South, you watch film on West, and I would tell you that we probably come out, and I don't even know what the percentage is, but run on first down majority of the time. Again, attacking that soft underbelly of a South defense and an 8-yard gain.
And Jameer's in for the first play.
Yeah, so Simpson's in there wide, split out wide to the right. Tynes back in there at center, and they're going to go to Simpson. Oh, they got him. They got him. He bit.
Beauty.
Nice play. 22-yard strike from Callahan to Simpson. Called by Mr. Turner there. Yeah, a little stop and go there.
A good pump fake by CJ.
And a 22-yard touchdown pass with 18 seconds left to go in the first quarter. And West draws first blood again this week.
You know what? Everything you got to like about that play. We talked about earlier that Jameer Simpson really brings a lot to the West offense with regard to just that big play opportunity. CJ Callahan threw a beautiful ball on that one.
Well, we have been running just 10-yard hitches the whole time, so that guy was jumping on it big time.
Missed the extra point. It hits the upright, so the extra point is no good. And it's a 6-0 ball game, but that's you know what? We had a fast start. This is one of the things we talked about in pregame is we had that fast start last week, and it was nice to get out to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter, but we didn't score the rest of the game.
Well, and our offense just kind of stalled out after those, first few drives that were really good drives, and then in the second half we had a couple drives where we got some first downs, but that was about it. I mean, we just couldn't put anything together, and it just kind of. The first two, drives in the first half were good.
I really like the feel of the offense, though, tonight with kind of what we're doing with the play calling. I think they're doing a nice job of mix and run. Yeah. Again, attacking what South is going to give them. But what's going to be great about this is you're going to completely throw South off their game plan. Their thought is, okay, I'm going to contain West to the inside, keep the run game, keep them in third and long. And just the opposite. West coming out, hitting them on first down with the underbelly punches, and again, when you're second 3 versus second 9, you're in a much better position to open the playbook up.
And I think just some misdirection stuff would be good for West. I think if they run a reverse here later, it'd probably work pretty well. But
there's a kickoff taken about the 16-yard line, and down to the 30, that's Sam Macklin, the old former West player.
He's a familiar name to West football.
He's going to get a 17-yard return to the 33-yard line. So 12 seconds left to go here, and Shawnee Mission South will start with first and 10 at their own 33-yard line. Hey, one thing we have with YouTube this year, people can make comments. We have our first comment. That was a beautiful double move by Simpson. Our
yeah,
first
it was.
comment.
Do we know who made the comment?
That was Josh Compton.
Of course. I was going to say Adam Rillahan, but
yeah, somebody. we know who's watching. So there's the give straight up the middle. And you know what? He probably got himself out of about 2 more yards by cutting that back. I think if Carpenter goes straight forward there, he may have a 5-yard game where he's got 3 yards there. So that's going to be the last play of the first quarter, and a good quarter it was for West as they come out with a 6-0 lead to start the game. We'll be right back after this timeout.
The Sports Medicine and Performance Center at the University of Kansas
And we're back, a short timeout for the Shawnee Mission South will have 2nd and 7 at their 31-yard line.
Some first quarter scores.
So first quarter scores in the Sunflower League, 6-0 here. Gardner Edgerton up 14-7 on Olathe West. That's Olathe West looking for their first varsity win. Gardner Edgerton trying to go 2-0 this year. Roberts cuts it back. Nice run, and he could be gone. And that's it. We're going to get a hold. So we're going to get a hold. And he gets tackled at the 2-yard line. So a couple of good things happened there. One is we got a hold. The other one is we didn't give up on that play. And Simpson, was that Simpson, number 7, who made the tackle down there, or was that Sebastian? Was that Garcia back playing there? I can't see his jersey's pulled up a little bit. I think we're going to get a hold here around the 34-yard line. It's going to take it back to the 45. But so Simpson made that tackle, and is there a shoe or another penalty down there about the 6-yard line?
Dave, I think.
So we got a penalty, which is going to be a hold here at the 34-yard line,
Holding offense,
and a horse collar.
face mask defense, offsetting.
Wow. That's
huge.
big time for West, because what ended up being a 65-yard run is now negated. A huge run taken off the board there by penalties.
And that's so telling, right, Dave? I mean, this is just the story of what we saw last week, and really out of both teams. Every time they had some success, they shot themselves in the foot. South is going to look at this and just kill themselves over what just happened.
You know what's crazy in there? This turned out better for West by having the penalty on our side. If West doesn't have a penalty, then it's still about a 30-yard gain for Shawnee Mission South. But with both of them getting a penalty, then it comes right back to the line of scrimmage, and it's 2nd and 7 again.
So
like
what
that
you're
never
saying
happened.
is somebody was smart at the end of the play and said, hey, if I get a penalty on this, I'll offset and we'll really
I
throw the
don't
play
think
back.
anybody who's ever played football has ever been that smart. So there's Roberts trying to get back there. He's going to try to step up, and Mishak Kyoko finally gets him and pushes him down, and he gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him right back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a 3rd and 7 now with 11:28 left to go here in the first half.
You know what's interesting about that? That was such a slow developing play. All the receivers were so far downfield that really give that to West as a coverage sack, because they did a nice job covering the receivers and allowed the line to get up and get in Roberts' face.
So a 3rd and 3. Roberts and Briscoe back in the backfield, waiting the snap, and here's that spinner series. He's going to be as a pitch man. Roberts gets a nice gain of about 12 yards all the way up to the 48-yard line. And when he commits, he gets up there quickly.
He's got a quick step upfield. I like that. He makes his decisions right away. He likes to keep the ball. But unfortunately for us, you can get him in a 3rd and long situation right where we want them. And he runs to power, and we still just didn't stop him, unfortunately.
So a 1st and 10 here. The 48-yard line, 10:47 left to go. A snap on the carpet, but he picks it up. He's getting chased by Kenny and Mike Williamson, who meet him for a 5-yard loss back at the 43-yard line. So a sack by Kenny and Williamson. Nice play. Kenny pursued him all the way, and then Williamson did a nice job of breaking his block too. And they met right there at the quarterback, 5-yard loss. That'll be look about a 4-yard loss instead of a 5-yard loss. Bring up 2nd and 14. Here's out to the side. If West can get to the point where they attack that a little bit more aggressively, they will be very successful in defending that. I think we had too many defenders who sort of set back on that. DJ, what do you see as what are you as a defender taught to do on that play out wide?
Just keep the edge, honestly. They're not doing a good job of attacking the linemen. They're just letting the linemen come back to them while they're still sitting back there on their same line, about 5 yards off is where we normally play as a linebacker, and they're kind of just waiting for the linemen to come and hit them instead of attacking.
And they got 7 yards out of it because of it. So, and Roberts is going to keep it straight up the middle, and he's going to get another 5 yards.
I think it's just short.
He's going to be short, but yeah, I think that lack of attacking style on that play, giving them some decent chunks where I think if they can get a little bit more aggressive, they can stop that wide pitch for maybe 2 yards instead of 5 yards next
Okay,
time.
now notice you got Carpenter in the backfield here, Dave, and you don't have Roberts.
Yeah, and this could be wildcat. It also could be a pooch punt.
Right.
Where we have that's and they moved.
Oh, there we go.
And now I think you are going to definitely see a punt now.
Yeah.
But you're right, Mike. You know, Carpenter's your punter, and they did last week. I think their first or second series they actually pooch punted about the same spot against Shawnee Mission North.
Right. No, and I watched him in pregame, and you will see him. I mean, I did see him throw the ball a couple times, so you can't take for granted that he's just going to pooch kick it every time because, first of all, he's a runner. Secondly, you've got a wide set. You got receiver options. Now, in this case, I would be surprised if they did not punt.
And there's a rugby-style punt
Yeah.
and a really nice punt. Simpson's going to let it hit. He's going to pick it up at the 10-yard line, and nice tackle there by Shawnee Mission South to get Simpson there.
And that's where I think that punt's effective. It's
That's the funny thing is that's the quarterback who is lined up wide who actually made the tackle there. Nice tackle.
Now, I give Simpson some credit on that. If he lets that ball go, that ball's all the way down to probably the 1 yard line. He had no choice but to pick the ball up. And so it really saved West, again, probably about 10 yards.
So that was about a 35-yard punt there by Carpenter. No return by West. And West will have 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line, their own 10-yard line with 8:35 left to go here in the first half. There's the give straight up the middle to Gilliard, who's going to get 3 up to the 13.
Gilliard on the carry.
Yeah, and I think from this position, West is going to be a little more conservative, but I think with the success that they've had underneath, I'd love to see them, but just kind of keep this mixed up, try to find something underneath and just kind of get out of this position.
So West is going with the starting lineup, the line of Carson Lilla, Jacob Porritt, Mark Tynes at center, Adam Hawkins at right guard, Dante Smith-Posey at right tackle. Dante Smith-Posey commit to Emporia State.
Oh.
That one's that little leak out of the backfield to the fullback, to Cadillo. But that's one of those ones where they press so far upfield that Callahan, as soon as he turned to even try to set his feet, he had 2 guys in his face.
No, and that's what I saw from those guys last week. Their linebackers, their outside linebackers are really quick and really athletic. And that was that Miles Tuttle coming off the right edge on that. And that guy had 3 tackles for loss last week, so he's in the backfield a lot. He's somebody we got to pay attention to, and you just can't let him upfield without anybody touching him.
3rd and 7, 7:47 left to go here after the incomplete pass. Callahan's trying to roll to his left, doesn't really have anybody. He's going to throw upfield. Oh! Nice effort, and actually very good defense. Good effort by Will Humphreys, but nice defense by number 28, Parker Minnick, to break up that pass, which would have been a first down there.
And we got a hold, Dave.
I would see this being declined because it's going to be fourth and 7 at the 13-yard line, and West isn't going to go for it either unless. So you've had some, Anderson struggled with a couple of punts. So we'll see if they just want to get us back there. But I see them declining this.
Yeah. Give CJ some credit getting away from that. But again, those are those plays too. Where the more time you play in the backfield, the more time you set yourself up for holds. But then again, this plays into what I think is going to be so important tonight. Is again, it's a field position. we're going to give South a short field with a lot of time on the clock.
Austin Carpenter.
So Anderson back here to punt. Carpenter back to about at midfield for the return. There's Anderson's punt from the 13th. Now he got into that one nicely. A 38-yard punt. Oh, and just missed.
No.
So Carpenter's going to take it back up to the 40. I think we're going to get a penalty, though. We're going to get a block in the back. So it'll take it back to midfield. So that was a nice 38-yard punt by Ruben Anderson there.
Boy, when you needed one, he really came through. That was a beautiful punt.
Returned by Carpenter.
Some more first half scores. Shawnee Mission East is leading Lawrence 7-0. Free State over Olathe East 14-0. Shawnee Mission North actually up on Olathe East 14-0. That's sort of a surprising score there.
Right.
And wanted to say those scores were brought to you by the Sunflower Football News. And thanks to Kevin Booker for those scores, who's up here in the booth with us tonight. And you can follow him on Twitter at BookerT3. Some really good Sunflower League news and sunflowerfootballnews.com. Really good previews, recaps, and just a plethora of information. So that penalty actually will take it back to the 46-yard line, their own 46-yard line. So 1st and 10 for South, 7:24 left
we
to
got
go.
a Wildcat going here.
So
I'm sorry.
No, that's Roberts.
I thought that was Carpenter for a second. I'm sorry, my fault.
That's okay. Roberts is basically like a Wildcat quarterback anyway. So he takes it. He's going to get a yard on first down. It'll make it 2nd and 9 from the 47-yard line. And again, I think, we talked about a little bit of lack of aggressiveness, DJ, in the last play, but so far, against the run, West has been pretty good. They've had a couple of breakdowns, but for the most part, against the run, they've been pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think much of it has to do with the defensive line. Defensive line is doing a pretty good job, but I think the linebackers need to do a better job of attacking when they see that run come downhill.
And there's a nice job by Dante Smith-Posey right at the line of scrimmage to get the ball carrier and take him down for what's going to be, I think he actually got back to the line of scrimmage, but they're going to mark it back for a loss of 1, and it's going to be 3rd and 10.
Now, let me ask you this, Dave. I didn't get to see all of last week's game. I didn't see Dante Smith-Posey in on the defensive line that much. Did he?
He did play a little bit on the defensive line.
So I didn't know if that was a new move this week, or
no. He didn't play a lot. We usually had Gleason and Kyoko play there at the on the ends, but Posey or Dante Smith-Posey did get a few looks last week. There's going to be the give straight ahead to.
I think it was Briscoe.
To Briscoe for a gain of 7 all the way up to the 47-yard line of West, and that's going to make a little bit of decision to see what goes on here. They've got a makeable 4th down here with 4th and 3 and 5:45 in a very quick moving first half, 5:45 left. So again, I think we have, I can't see if that's Carpenter.
Yeah,
I think that is Carpenter back there. So you could see that pooch punt again, and you are. Well, it's a rugby-style pooch punt. And by the way, a pretty good punt. Simpson's going to take it at the 10. He makes a move, and he makes a couple people miss. He's going to get up to the 26. Go down a little awkwardly. He's hit by Macklin, tackled in the behind a 16-yard. So a pretty nice 40, I'd give him about 38-yard punt and a 16-yard return for Simpson. And West is going to have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line with 5:20 left.
What's interesting about that punt was last week the punts were low and dragging along the ground to the sideline, and he's hanging that up in the air. And the last thing you want to do is hang up the air to Jameer Simpson, who's got big play-making abilities. And speaking of play-making abilities, unfortunately, we just showed our hand on one there.
Flag on the play.
So we're bringing Jameer in on a jet sweep, and we had a pitch to him, which was a great misdirection call by Mr. Turner earlier, saying, "Hey, that would be a great play to execute." And unfortunately, we had a legal procedure, so not only did we shoot ourselves in the foot on that play, but we also kind of showed our hand on a play that we could possibly have been really successful.
So the 5-yard penalty will bring up 1st and 15. And I'll keep talking about we had a camera for specifically for the scoreboard, but the scoreboard is so bright that it's overwhelming the camera right now. We're going to have to go just talking about it a lot. There's that swing pass out in the backfield for Cadillo, and Cadillo picks up 17 yards, a nice gain. Actually, take that back. That's going to be a 20-yard gain all the way out to the 42-yard line. I tell you what.
I think we found something there, Dave.
That's been a bread and butter play for West for a long time.
Yeah, boot has always been the go-to when you need a little bit of, close yardage to the sticks, or maybe for just something that will just surprise them and make you go deep. Not expecting the running back to get the ball on that little play. They normally look for the receiver out there.
And I love that because you're running away from the heart of the defense. You're running away from the teeth of the defense, and you're putting the pressure on the defensive backs to make a play.
So 4:50 left to go here in the first half. There's the double move to Simpson again, and he can't quite catch up to that one. Tried a little bit of a skinny post double move, and he couldn't quite get upfield to it. It was thrown a little skinnier than what he was running there.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a timing and feel thing, and these guys are still getting used to each other, right? I mean, Jameer Simpson come in late in the summer, and as you said, I think his first move was he cut it a little bit shallow, and then he went back skinny post, and maybe just that difference of a couple steps could have been a difference of completing that pass.
So 2nd and 10 at the 42. Humphreys wide to the right, and Clark in the slot. And he jumps just a little bit early. So I guess I shouldn't say his name. I said his name, and he jumped a little early. I apologize.
He made him
I'm the jinx. So I'm going to start talking about South guys on defense. Maybe one of those will jump off sides.
You know what I like about that play, though, to Simpson is as soon as we ran that play, and I would have told you last week there's no way they're going to let anybody get behind them. They got a little, they've been getting a little anxious. They've been playing a little tighter than they have, and I saw everybody take about 3 steps back on defense. So again, it's very effective, even though we didn't complete it.
So Callahan's going to swing it out to Clark. He's going to get the nice,
good pickup.
About a 13-yard pickup. Actually, wow, they gave him all the way to the 48, a 15-yard pickup. I thought he was stepped out at the 50, and so Wesley makes up for that. Makes up for that jump with a nice 15-yard pickup on second down, and it'll be a West first down, 1st and 10 at the South 48-yard line.
And nice crossing routes on that. So what he did, he cleared the outside guy cleared for the inside guy, and again, it wasn't a long pass. It didn't have to be a long pass. Underneath, let your guy catch the ball and use his legs.
There's the give straight ahead to Gilliard, and he's breaking a couple tackles. He's got a 5-yard gain all the way up to the, we'll see if they give him 6. It's about 5.5. We'll give him 6. We're generous. Gets about to the 42.5-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 4. We're coming on 4 minutes left to go here. The thing that'd be really nice here, take this down and score and eat most of your time.
Absolutely.
You could be looking at a nice lead going into the halftime.
Nice run on that, running behind Smith Posey on the right side, and you'd love to see that. Just keep wearing these guys down.
There's the give to Gilliard again. Excuse me, that's Kenny. Kenny's going to take it toward. He's got a gain, and he's going to keep going. So Kenny takes it down for all the way to the 31-yard line. So a gain of 12 yards. I think it's actually going to be a face mask on them because Dante Smith Posey got his helmet taken off, and I'm wondering if it's not going to be a face mask on South. Shot to the head. Okay. So the thing is, and Dante Smith Posey does not have to come out of the game. He would have if there was no penalty there, but a 15-yard, so a 13-yard run and a 15-yard penalty is going to give West really good field position all the way down to the 19-yard line and keeps your best lineman, the Emporia State commit, Dante Smith Posey, in the game.
Absolutely. Keep this drive rolling.
That's what I like to see from West. West is doing a good job of getting downfield with their runs and not doing a lot of dancing. That's what I think they struggled with last year and previous years is their backs would do a lot of side to side instead of going downhill. When they get downhill against these teams this week and last week, they're doing a good job of picking up yards.
They are at that. And the South coach is not too happy with that call. He's out talking to the referee. Not sure he's gonna change much there, but
did he not see the helmet off?
Yeah, so we'll see. One thing we saw during that timeout, they switched the package back to Simpson coming in. So we'll see if we don't get something on the outside and they try to strike here with first and 10 at the 19-yard line. And they go the other way trying to strike to okay. So they did try to strike. We had it, but they used Simpson more as a decoy there, and Wesley Clark a little long for him and probably right up the sideline.
Yeah, and I think try and take advantage of that penalty and say, you know what, hey, let's go for it. We're within distance. I do like like you said, bringing Jameer in, look at and CJ did a nice job of looking him off to that side. Unfortunately, give credit to the cornerback on this side. Not sure exactly who it was, but stayed right with Clark the whole way.
So that was incomplete. Intended for Clark on first down, brings up 2nd and 10 at the 19. Callahan's going to give to Kinney, and he's not going to get anything. He's actually going to lose 3. Back to the 22-yard line, so a loss of 3.
And then I think I saw Timmons come up on that one, number 20, did a really nice job from the cornerback position to take on the lead blocker. And then with the linebacker on that one, just did a great job of stopping him.
One thing we're seeing a little bit different tonight is, do you see Callahan's going to the sideline to get his plays. Instead of a receiver bringing him in with it, Callahan's actually going in and shuttle plays in and out. Simpson coming out on this one.
Big play guy out.
So
we're going
to have to hustle up because we're down to 2 seconds. And one of the things we probably did take a little bit too much time going to the sideline to get that play there, but it's okay. We got 2.5 minutes left, all your timeouts. So
I got to think you're 2 down territory here, Dave. Don't you think? Just the way we've been executing and the way the defense has been playing, unless you get enough yards where you feel comfortable with kicking a field goal, I'd like to think that you have 2 plays.
And here's my thought is to get it close enough to be comfortable kicking a field goal, you're probably 4th and 2, 4th and 1 anyway, so you're probably going to see them go for it. So Anderson's got the leg to kick that. He missed a 27-yarder last week, just wide to the left. So he does have the leg, but he's probably a 30, maybe 35-yard from what we've seen. We'll see how it goes because he's got a decent leg, but as a place kicker, it's a different story. So you're probably going to have to be inside the 15-yard line for a field goal attempt.
I'm not so sure. I don't like just that boot swing pass in this situation, DJ. Just you got a lot of open field to the left. You got Callahan who rolls to the left. He's a lefty quarterback.
And you got 2 receivers to run off your D-backs out there, but they're not going. They're going to go deep. And that's a nice pass intended for Clark, just off his outstretched hands. He couldn't quite there. Clark ran a little flag route there on the inside and couldn't quite get it.
The thing with that boot is that with this open field here to the left, they're running to the left. That fullback is what they're supposed to do is going to have to hit this off defensive lineman or this linebacker coming up the field and then getting out instead of just running out for his route because they don't get him. That's an easy sack or maybe just a potential in the face right there.
No, and you make a perfect point because that's the side Miles Tuttle plays on. He had 3 tackles for loss last week, and if nobody touches him, he just comes straight upfield.
Right.
So I thought they'd have to get in about the 15 to try a 32-yard field goal, but they're going to try this anyway. It's going to be a 39-yard attempt. So the hold will be at the 29-yard line, and it's a low kick. That's what we're talking about is if you're not used to kicking, you can kick off, but if you're not used to kicking with a holder at extra and snaps, extra points, and field goals, it's a different beast.
And I don't know. The numbers are kind of hard to read on these guys. Somebody came through kind of unscathed on that one and knocked the ball. So I don't know if it was a low kick or we just a little breakdown in coverage up the middle. But now the thing you got to be careful about is we got 2:25. 2:25 on the clock, and Yeah, like, obviously they got a long field.
So 2:25 left to go here in the first half. 6-0 Vikings.
From the 20-yard line.
And that's what Roberts is probably going to keep it on the ground, but we've seen a 65-yard run that came back, so you know he's got the ability to get some pretty good chunks. Briscoe in the backfield with him. Receivers, 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. There's the snap. He is going to put it in the air. He's going to go deep. And that was very much out of bounds. Xavier Lease in there on the pressure.
It kind of surprised me, that call. You know, there's a lot of time on the clock. You have 3 timeouts left. You've had some success running the ball. It just seems counterintuitive. Now, they're trying to go away from their tendencies as well. You know, they run 70% of the time on first down. So
I could see that play maybe on a second down if you pick up a decent chunk on first. But now you have stopped the clock, 2:18.
That's what I was going to say. The last thing you want to do is stop the clock in this situation.
A really nice off-tackle run by Briscoe, and he makes West pay for that. I tell you what, that was a cutback to the right all the way. West had over-pursued, and that's going to be a 30-yard gain all the way up to the West 49-yard line. So a yard into West territory. Nice run by Briscoe there, 30 yards.
That right there goes back to West linebackers not coming up, filling gaps and keeping their sound on keeping the outside.
They definitely over-pursued to their right, and Briscoe cut back to his right. There's the spinner, but the give straight. Oh, no. Roberts is going to keep it. He's going to be ahead for 9. And a gain of 9 all the way up to the 40-yard line. And
going to get maybe a flag there on Meshach.
Julian Cuevas on the stop.
West player and a South player getting into it a little bit. No flags thrown, but the referee's talking to Kyoko there and make sure that everything's settled down. Roberts in the shotgun, a 2nd and 1. There's the give straight ahead to Briscoe, who's going to take it for a nice gain all the way up to the 30-yard line. So a 10-yard gain up to the 30-yard line will be first and 10 with a minute 18 left. And you know what? We were talking about West maybe going in and converting and having a nice lead at halftime. And South's knocking on the door of tying this one up or taking the lead.
And nothing real fancy. I mean, just what we expected them to do, kind of keep the ball on the ground, run the ball up the middle, just a little misdirection with the jet sweep.
Yep. There's the option pitch to Briscoe and a nice tackle. Nice stick coming up there from the we got a penalty on South. So after the nice stick and so Wesley Clark makes that tackle and he walked away from it.
You think there's a little
but South did not walk away from it.
There,
Yeah.
Macklin had
Definitely.
probably heard a few things from his past teammates, DJ.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of history going back with his older brother playing here, too, and he was a former West student as well for his first 2 years of high school here at West, so I think there's a lot of little history going on between those guys.
So, yeah, there is, and he's a senior this year, so, you know, he wants to have bragging rights for the rest of his life. So, unsportsmanlike conduct there on a 15-yard penalty will take it back to the 42-yard line. So it'll bring up second and no, it should still be first down. Scoreboard has second, but it still should be first down. That was a first down play. So it is 1st and 22. Oh, it was unsportsmanlike afterwards. So the play counts. I apologize. The play counts.
Gotcha.
So it was a dead ball. They didn't call that. It was a dead ball unsportsmanlike conduct. So the play counts. Roberts is trying to reverse his field. Gets a little bit up there. Gets about a 4-yard gain. And now we got a penalty on West.
Number 8.
And I'm not sure what that was for, but I think we're going to get a penalty, maybe a face mask, something up around the head.
Flag on the play.
Well, the last thing you want
Shot
to
to
do.
the head by West, so we just gave back all that yardage. Now the one thing is, we'll see, there's not enough yardage for a first down. And sometime, I know pass interference in high school, if you don't get the yardage, it's not an automatic first down. I don't know if personal foul shot to the head will be a first down. But that brings it a 15-yard penalty. We'll take it up to the 25-yard line, and it will not be a first down. It is a 3rd down and 5 from the 25-yard line. 27 seconds, 26 seconds left.
Something tells me you better watch out for Higgins here, number 34. He got this big target.
Yeah, he's that big guy. And I tell you what, if they keep their pitch relationship, if the running back keeps his pitch relationship, he can get rid of that. He's got good yardage up the sideline and able to get out of bounds, too.
I saw the same thing on that, Dave. He's way too close. The quarterback doesn't even have an option to pitch. He's too close.
4th down.
So 4th down and 3 at the 23-yard line, 14 seconds left. You got to know they're going to go for it here. I don't see him kicking a field goal. They're going to call timeout and talk about it here.
Well, I think it's kind of interesting. I kind of felt like they bled the clock off a little bit too deep for, they still have 3 timeouts left. Even if they convert the first down, you're only a couple plays away from halftime. So I don't know why they haven't really taken advantage of their timeouts up to this point. So they're kind of playing into West's hands.
So 4th and 3 at the 23-yard line. There's only 14 seconds left here to go. So I could see them. They obviously only need 3 yards to go here. We'll see what they do. If they're just trying to get the first down, or they really want to go for it all here. They have 3 wides to the left. We'll see what they do. They are going to go back to left. And they do get their first down to the 15-yard line. There's 5 seconds left. So South will have to probably take their last time out, or they'll spike it real quick. I can't imagine spiking it and maybe wasting a second. They should just call timeout here. So that was a 8-yard gain down to the 15-yard line.
And I called that Huggins out the play before. I watched him on that play because I'm thinking, okay, they got to go to this guy. He's 6'6". How do you miss him? He really didn't make much of a play. He went to the outside. He obviously wasn't the key receiver. Then he worked his way back to the inside to give the Roberts some credit for catching him over the middle. If I'm West, I got to be targeting this guy on this play because he's 6'6". He's half a foot taller than anybody we have on the team, other than Dante Smith-Posey, but I don't think he's going to play defensive back. And you just can't let him get loose somewhere in the end zone and do a jump ball.
So wanted to shout out to the Shawnee Mission West Viking Touchdown Club, who's sponsoring tonight's game. And you can follow them, ShawneeMissionWestFootball.com, on Twitter at Viking TD Club, and on Facebook like Viking TD Club. So we'll see what happens here with 5 seconds left. You got to think this is the last play of the half. So you're gonna go deep or short with a pitch.
If I'm South, I'd probably run the ball, honestly.
Roberts looking. That's a
what
pick.
I talked about.
And they ran a little wheel route. Our receivers got hung up there.
If Simpson did a better job of attacking the receiver instead of trying to jump for the ball, he probably could have had maybe a knockdown or just a pass breakup right there. But instead, he jumped up, tried to go for the interception, and they completed the touchdown.
So with no time on the clock, South scores on a 15-yard pass from
Will Huggins.
From Roberts to Huggins. And 6-6 tie right now pending the extra point. And Huggins is going to see if he can get the 7th point here too. And it's blocked, no good. So I don't know how many times you see that, but
and it was funny, the timing on that was horrible. It looked like he stepped forward before the ball was set, just tried to punch it through. So
high snap, and that threw the timing off.
Benefit to West, 6-6, got a tie ball game going into half.
I'm not sure what they're doing here. I'm not sure why they're making the team stay, because there's no time on the clock. There's absolutely no time on the clock, so there should not be a kickoff here. And if you're South, you don't want to kick off.
Going in the locker room.
There should not be 5 seconds on the clock.
To your point, Dave, I mean, that pass play took more than 5 seconds.
There was 5 seconds on the clock when they snapped it. There should not be 5 seconds on the clock. And we'll go talk to whoever we need to, because the time ran out on the play. There was 5 seconds left when the ball was snapped.
Right.
All 5 seconds ran out. There was no time on the clock.
Looks like they're bringing out the kickoff.
And now they're going. I have no idea what the confusion was on that, because there was definitely no time left on the clock. So that'll do it for the first half of football. A quick first half, and it's 6-0 or 6-all Vikings and Raiders. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Of St.
Here
James
for halftime, we'll have you
Next comes the voodoo-inspired Firebird Suite,
watch a little bit of the
which
Shawnee
was
Mission
written by
South
classical composer Igor
High School
Stravinsky.
Band.
Watch as we add this show throughout the coming season. We hope you enjoy tonight's performance.
And as Shawnee Mission South winds down their halftime performance, we'll give a few Sunflower League updates. Again, courtesy of the Sunflower Football News. So here in the second week of Sunflower League play, again it's 6-6 here, Shawnee Mission West and Shawnee Mission South. Gardner Edgerton's leading 41 to 14 over Olathe West. Shawnee Mission East 27-0 over Lawrence. Free State a 28-0 lead over Olathe East. Olathe North a 34-7 lead over Shawnee Mission North. Olathe South 22-7 over Olathe Northwest, and Shawnee Mission Northwest with a 14-0 lead over Leavenworth. Those are the halftime scores. Again, brought to you by Sunflower Football News. Follow Kevin Booker at BookerT3 on Twitter, and you can read their stuff at sunflowernews.com. So bring back in Mike and DJ here. As we look at these first half stats here, guys, we would say is fairly even. It's even on the scoreboard at 6-6, even identical. Touchdown passes, missed extra points, and it's 6-6 here. And for the most part, you look down through here, and these stats are about the same all the way, except for total yards, except rushing and passing are vice versa here.
Yeah, and what South's going to kick themselves is when they look down to the penalty line and they see that they had 66 yards of penalties. And as you said, both teams kind of moving the ball. West got down there before the end of the half where West's going to be kicking themselves, taking the ball away downfield right before half, having an opportunity to score, and kind of squelching that on a couple of mistakes, and then allowing South to come all the way back downfield, 80-yard drive, and then to score with no time on the clock.
Yeah, like we were talking about, West had a really good chance to go in up 12, 13, 14, nothing, and we're a tie ball game now. West with 79 yards passing and 36 yards rushing, and just sort of switched around with South, 34 yards passing and 95 yards rushing. And as we look at some of the stats here for the first half. First half stats: Callahan 6 of 13 for 79 yards and one touchdown. That touchdown, a 22-yard pass to Jameer Simpson with 18 seconds left in the first quarter. Gilliard with seven rushes for 21 yards. Kinney with 4 rushes for 9. Callahan 1 for 2s. Cadillo with 1 for 4, and that's the 13 rushes for 36 yards. Clark with 15 yards receiving. Simpson 22. Humphreys 7. Cadillo with 2 catches for 27. That's 5 catches for 71 yards there for Shawnee Mission West. And on the south side, we got Roberts with 4 completions on 7 attempts for 34 yards. 11 attempts for 20 yards, which is sort of crazy that he has so few yards rushing on that many attempts, Mike.
Right. Well, and one of the things we remember is we remember Roberts running all the way downfield for about a 60-yard run that was negated by offsetting penalties. So
yeah, so he could easily have 85 yards passing or 85 yards rushing here. And it could be and they could have another score there too.
I think what's surprising to me is actually a number of passing attempts. I think he had as many passing attempts in the first half today as he's had all last week. So it's interesting they try to open the ball up, even though they have been pretty successful running the ball.
Briscoe really has been pretty successful yards per carry wise at over 10 yards per carry, 7 carries for 73 yards.
Yeah, and we talked about that a little bit at the beginning of the game. We knew this guy had some opportunity. Just I obviously didn't see it last week. He's a big play guy. I think if you're West, I think you've got to be really happy with the way your offense has performed in the first half. You have just as many yards, more than half as many yards in the first half than you had all of last game. You're kind of clicking on all cylinders. You're passing 79 yards. You've already got as many passing yards as you did all last week. You're running the ball well. You're just a little frustrated with the score on the scoreboard because we would have thought that we would have put up some more points.
One interesting thing, so we have two touchdowns for both teams, passing touchdowns, both almost on the last play of each quarter. So Callahan to Simpson for 22 yards and a touchdown with 18 seconds left to go in the first quarter. A extra point was missed, a 6-0 lead for West, and then on the final play of the first half, Roberts to Huggins for 15 yards and again extra point missed, and that's where we are at 6-6 here at halftime. We're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be back for the second half action here shortly. We're about ready here for the second half to begin. And Mike, if we go back and look at what we were talking about for the keys to victory for both teams, and look back at these West keys for victory. Shutting down Roberts was one of the biggest things. For the most part, other than that one play, they really have.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job of containing him as a runner. Now, you could argue that you offset that with what Briscoe's been running the ball. So, but again, that's what you want to do. You want to force somebody else to take the ball because Roberts was such a key last week. We talked about running outside the tackle box. I'm not so sure we were as successful as doing that. It's just we have done a nice job getting our blockers up to the second level. We're neutralizing those linebackers and running the ball fairly well. So that's worked to our advantage. Definitely attack the south backfield. I think we did a really nice job. I love the swing pass off the boot that we got underneath for some really good gains to Cadillo. We've gone downfield a couple times to Clark, and then obviously you got Jameer Simpson on that hitch and go. So that's the positive. And I think obviously huge improvements in penalties this week.
So looking at that, what South needed to do to win successful ground game, they've had a decent amount of yards. Not probably what you would have expected out of them. Again, a 65-yard chunk play got called back, so that was a big difference.
And I was going to say that 66 yards of penalties, which has definitely negated. I think the majority of that was on offense. So.
That's crazy. You're talking 130 yards right there with 66 yards of penalties, 65 yards taken off with the kick or the penalty with the penalty. So there's Macklin's going to take it at the 15-yard line. He's got a nice return cut outside, and he could take it back most of the way, and he will take it all the way back to the 42-yard line. So a 43-yard return by Sam Macklin on that kickoff is going to set up South with really, really good field position at the west 42-yard line. Not the way you want to start that.
That's eerily familiar when you think of the Macklin family. Has a long history out west, and Isaiah Macklin, who's now playing at the second level, and saw him run so many returns back like that for West.
So 11:49, first play from scrimmage of the second half. It's getting a little foggy here too, so hopefully you see a good and bobbled snap up there. Briscoe's going to take it down though, and Briscoe's keeping with his 10 yards per carriage.
Gilliard comes away with the ball, but I think Briscoe's down.
I think that's the second time that's happened because Gilliard did that in the first half too as well.
11-yard gain, first down, Raiders!
It looked like he got it out before his knee was down or anything.
Yeah, I'm going to take note of that if I'm West defense, right? And you see him carrying the ball loose like that, I'm going to tell my guys, hey, attack that ball.
So Briscoe with another 10 yards and a first down there. First and 10 at the 31-yard line with 11 and a half minutes left to go here in the third quarter. There's the fake to Briscoe, and Roberts trying to roll out. He's got his man at the 19-yard line, but it's incomplete.
Pass intended for Huggins.
So Huggins was the intended receiver there, but it was incomplete, and it'll bring up second and 10. And as I was saying that we had a little bit of fog, it's really maybe a light drizzle that's actually happening. So we're starting to get a little bit blowing in our booth here, so it's a little bit more of a light drizzle than fog that's happening right now. Second and 10, 11:18 left to go here. Roberts in the shotgun, Briscoe back with him. 3 rides, 3 receivers to the left. And here's the option to the right, and there's going to be, that's most likely going to be that they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage, hopefully. Because usually they would have blown that dead if it was offsides on us. I'm wondering if they didn't have 7 men on the line of scrimmage. So right now, that's about a 21-yard gain for South, but I'm wondering if that's not going to come back.
Yeah, I think that was thrown by the line judge. I agree with you, Dave.
Yeah, so they did not have 7 men on. No, it's a legal procedure, not 7 men on the line of scrimmage. So a huge penalty there, without not having, because The only reason you say 7 men is because they let the play go. If it was really illegal procedure, somebody jumped, they blow it dead. But if it's not 7 men, they let the play go, see what happens. And wow, a 21-yard gain taken back by a 5-yard. Not enough men on the line.
See the frustration on the South coaching staff on the sideline. Not happy with that one after that nice play.
And that, yeah, you got to be.
It's a
you got to
simple.
be frustrated. That's a simple thing, and part of that may have been having that man in motion there. You know, they've got 5 guys in the backfield right now. They don't have 7 men on the line of scrimmage right now until they get. One of these receivers, obviously, 7 will be up on the line here.
It's got to Huggins a little.
Yeah, they got the slot man in up on the line. So got your more. So that'll be 2nd and 15 from the 35-yard line. Roberts going to take it up the middle for a gain of 7. A nice gain on 2nd and 15. Will bring up a 3rd and 8.
Same thing I've been saying since the first half. West got to do a better job of getting their linebackers up to the line. They're still sitting back there waiting for the offensive line to come and get them, and once they come and get them, they're driving them back 2 or 3 yards, and that's 5 yards right there, plus whatever he can get after being tackled.
Well, with a 3-man line, like you said, DJ, all you got to do is neutralize your guys on the line, and so you're automatically 5 yards downfield by the time you hit that second layer.
And I feel like running with these outside linebackers they've got on the line of scrimmage for West, I think that would help them a little bit to keep containment or at least crash down, let their defensive linemen on the inside crash down a little bit. Doesn't look like they're doing a good job of that. They're doing a good job of keeping everybody in and keeping the quarterback secure, but when it comes to going downhill, they're not doing such a good job.
So we have a short timeout by the referees here, but we'll go back. 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, a big play. 10 left to go here. There's the give to Briscoe right up the middle. That's the best job that West has probably done. He's still got 3 yards, but that's probably one of the better jobs West has done is bottling him up, not letting him get outside and keep him in the middle.
Number 7, Simpson on the stop.
Yeah, there's getting a little chippy.
Yeah, both teams are getting at it a little bit.
Please stay off the track.
Which is always good. I like to see that.
And in the stands.
The funniest thing is telling people to stay off the track. It's the only way you can get to the concession stand now. So a 4th and 4 at the 25-yard line. So we'll see what they do here. They are going for it. Robertson shotgun with Carpenter back behind him. And there's the run, and they had nobody out there. And it's going to be close, but I think he did get it. He's right at the marker. They mark him out at the 21-yard line, and I think that's where the mark was. And I'd be surprised if this is not a first down.
It's interesting, though, Dave. Didn't look like normally Roberts makes a decision. He's straight up field. It looked like he had the room, and he kind of danced to the outside on that one, gave West time chance to knock him out of bounds.
I'll be honest with you. If South doesn't get this first down, I would not be happy if I was the South. I would not be happy.
I'll tell you what, they're not giving it to him.
They didn't give it to him. Wow, West gets. I honestly believe he got the first down. His feet went out about the 21-yard line, but he had a little bit of lean to him. They marked him out about the 21 and a half. Well, I think almost a good half yard shy of where he really went out of bounds.
I mean, what is so funny is I thought he was so passive to the marker on that one, where he's normally straight up field. So I don't know, benefit West on that for at least staying with the play and leaving it up to the refs to make that call.
They had that blocked well. Actually, there's not much block there. Oh, Gilliard just gets tripped up and has a chance to break it.
Yeah, if he would have kept his feet right there, I think he probably could have took that to the house. He had a pretty good head of steam right there.
Yeah, I like the quickness.
So we'll give him 5 yards on first down. We'll actually five yards on first down. It's sort of give him 6. They got it sort of between the 21 and a half, and he got to the 27-yard line. So there's the give to Kenny, who's going to try to get outside. He's up to the 30-yard line. So a gain of 3 by Kinney on third down, which will bring up right out about 1.5 yards here with 8:40 left to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and I like what West is doing, and they're putting themselves in a good position on third down, Dave, where you're third and short, there's a lot of different options, and we're a yard away from a first down, and I might even put CJ under center and just let him get it in that case.
Honestly, I'd probably go back to the same thing you've been doing.
And there's the quick out. There's the throw to Wesley Clark, who takes it ahead to the 36-yard line, a gain of 6 on third down for Wesley Clark. Callahan to Clark for 6 on the first down. 8:12 left to go here in the third quarter.
And that's there all night long, Dave. Keep attacking it, keep attacking it, keep attacking it. Nice rhythm the West offense has got. I like the way that it's moving right now.
So the give to Kinney, who's going to take it up the middle. Nice little sidestep, and
it looked like he fumbled right
down.
there.
I think that's about the same play as what they're saying happened to Gilliard. The line judge marks him down, and
if they would have given him that one, that would have been a bad call by the ref, because they did the same thing twice to South and gave it to him.
13's wanting. It looks like Gabe Diamond's wanting, or I'm sorry, that's the wrong time. Sidney Hales is wanting the replay booth to look at that one, but there is no replay booth, so the play on the field will stand, and it is a 6-yard gain by Kinney in 2nd and 4. Then that was mostly issue with the snap, and we'll see what we have here. I think we may have an illegal chop block, actually. I think we may have a personal foul illegal chop block on this, because the only thing I saw was maybe 2 guys. No, we got a hold.
Oh.
So 10. So the only good thing here is we'll see if they take the penalty, and it'll still be 2nd down, which I tell you what, the way we're throwing the ball, you can pick up that easily on 2 downs, or if they decline it and push us back, and decline it, push us back, and give us 2nd down, or they accept it, or decline it and go 3rd down, or accept it and go 2nd down. Looks like they're going to accept it and push us back.
Got Simpson back in the game out there at the receiver, so it looks like West might try to go downfield right here. If not, they'll probably go back to the same little boot, or maybe same little running plays again. But if I'm West, I'd probably take a shot downfield, maybe actually go with the stop and go that got them their first touchdown. But if not, I'd probably go with the old Hunt if I'm West.
So a now 2nd and 17 after that penalty. So
Well, there you go. We'll take 5 back.
But our back also jumped too. So we'll see who they said jumped first. Their line who came across, which they are going to call.
Contact, sure.
Cadillo sort of jumped too, but again in high school ball, if the defense comes across, then that's what it is. So a 5-yard penalty on South will make it 2nd and 12 at the 34-yard line. Callahan's looking out there for Clark, and probably a good thing that he did come up with it. And now we're gonna. That's on Parrish Bruce, so we're gonna have a 15-yard personal foul on Shawnee Mission South. It's gonna be on that big guy in the middle who had the lineman down and just kept pushing on him and pushing on him.
He's got some anger problems there.
Yeah, there's some anger management going on in the sidelines right now. Parrish Bruce.
So you don't know, they called it offsetting, so I'm not sure. Bruce was on top. You never know what the guy on the bottom was doing to provoke the guy on top to do it. But
well, and as we said pregame, I mean, he's the guy that he's taking on 2 blockers every time, so he gets a lot of the punishment, and I'm sure some of that frustration's coming out.
Now the interesting thing here is I believe was both of them were dead ball. So it wasn't during the play; they were both dead ball. So the play counts. The scoreboard has 3rd. this is what we got to get. The scoreboard has third. The down markers have second. I do believe it was dead ball, so it should be third. But the markers still say second down. We'll see what goes on. So I believe it is third and 12. And then Callahan's out. Oh, and picked. Tell you what, a couple things happened there. There's a little bit of late throw, and the receiver didn't come back for the ball, and they most definitely did come back for the ball. So Zach Neer with the interception for South, and takes it back to the 28-yard line, 27-yard line, and South has got a perfect opportunity to take the lead here. And what a crazy sequence of downs right there with the offsetting penalties, a little bit of some anger on both sides happening, and then you follow it up with the interception.
Yeah, and I spoke a little too soon. I talked about how the rhythm of the offense was doing so well. And to your point on that play, just the pressure up the middle, Dave, was enough to cause CJ to have to reroute his boot. And the play developed a little slower and just allowed the...
Oh, go hit him. No way, there's a dead ball right there.
So, a little sloppy play here. So, I'll tell you what.
South is not going to be happy with themselves when they look at the film of this game and the penalties they're making. Just silly mistakes for second week.
And both teams are jawing at each other.
Yeah.
If you look out there, both teams are jawing at each other across that line of scrimmage. So this could be a very interesting second half.
The thing with that is, South wasn't even a rival when I was in high school. East was
the rival, yeah.
West is doing a pretty good job now of getting up to the quarterback, getting up to the running backs, and getting some pressure actually in the backfield before the ball is even close to back to the line of scrimmage.
One of the things which is interesting there is West walked their linebackers right up into the gaps right on the line. Now, so which made South give it out and try to go wide there. But so it's only a gain of 2 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 13 here for South. It's spinner series and the give straight ahead. Carpenter, and he's going to take it down to the 24-yard line. So a gain of 6 by Carpenter on second down will bring up 3rd and 7.
That play kind of looks like counter. South is doing a good job of collapsing that right side. It looks like a play going towards the left or going towards the right, and running the back opposite. And that right side or left side is always open. It's normally to the short side as well. And it looks like that side is always open.
South likes that play too. I think to run opposite the jet.
There's the jet. That could have been a block in the back, but it's not. And they get the first down at the 16-yard line. So
I probably would have threw that flag if I was a ref.
A gain of 7 on third down. Minnick takes it for a gain of 7 up to the 16-yard line. It's a first 10. Well, there is a flag on the play here. We'll see what it's called. I thought there was a block in the back because he was very far outside of the tackle box. You can get away with a block in the back, if you're inside the tackles, but seemed to be outside. And there was no flag on the play. The PA announcer said there was. There wasn't. So a 7-yard gain by Minnick gives them a first down, 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. 5:19 left to go here in the third quarter. Roberts looking to pass, now brings it down. He's going to run it. He's got some room out to the outside, and he gets to the pylon. I think that's a touchdown. Nope. Mark him out.
No, he's going to mark him out the half-yard line.
Wes got to do a better job of wrapping up.
I tell you what, guys, there's no way you can mark him out at the half-yard line because his feet were about the 2-yard line or 3-yard line. He's stretching out for it. The ball's hitting the pylon.
Right.
There's no way he stepped out at the. There's no way the ball went out at the half-yard line. But anyway, one way or the other, that's a 15-yard run all the way up to the 1-yard line. Roberts is going to just try to sneak it, and he's going to get in for the touchdown. So Roberts with a 1 yard. Roberts with a 1 yard run for a touchdown with 5:04 left to go here in the third quarter, makes it a 12-6 South lead pending the extra point.
And on that previous play where Roberts got out on that run, Dave, just a lot of missed tackles by West. I mean, I like to give Roberts credit for being a shifty runner, but had to be 3 or 4 missed tackles on that play that we had an opportunity to stop him.
So the turnover comes back to bite West there with a short field. South drives down and scores the go-ahead touchdown, and the extra point by Huggins is good.
That was really the key, right? Was who was going to convert the extra point first.
Yeah. And with 5:04 left to go, it's a 13-6 ball game, and we will be back right after this timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know it or not, but Baker University.
We're back for the kickoff, the Shawnee Mission South kickoff, following a 1 yard Roberts run and extra point by Huggins to make it 13-6 South. There's the kick, a high spinning kick that will be taken around the 20-yard line. And Simpson is going to be corralled around the 25. He pushes his way up to the 30, so a 10-yard return by Simpson on that kickoff. Nice effort there to get
Simpson on the return.
Nice effort to get 10 yards on that return because he was met almost immediately.
Number 7, Sean Kirby with the stop.
So we'll see, guys, how West answers here.
Well, and again, as we were saying at the break, it's just really a matter of West staying with the game plan. They're moving the ball, just not making the mistakes. They have cut back on the mistakes from last week, but in the last series we saw a couple penalties that knocked them back just when they were getting some momentum going. So again, stay with the plan. Everything's going well. Not time to panic. 4:58 in the third quarter, and you're only down by touchdown.
Callahan will roll to his left, and there's the
There we go, that boot underneath.
give to Cadillo, who's going to take it ahead for probably about 11 yards and a first down.
Boy, give CJ some credit.
Padilla on the reception.
That Miles Tuttle came off the end just screaming at him, and he still got the ball away for a
Parker
nice game.
Minnick on the
Yeah,
stop.
fullback has to do a better
Good
job
for a
at
West
tripping
first down.
and then going. Same thing I was talking about earlier, but CJ did a good job of getting that off and getting the pass out, and Padilla did a good job of catching it.
We're getting a pretty heavy drizzle now. I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty heavy.
Oh,
Great
wow.
job by Gilliard to get spin out of that. He turns what is probably would have been a 3-yard loss into a 7, 8. We'll give him 6-yard gain. He actually, not sure they gave him all the yards that he was supposed to, but he got from the 41 to the 48, so a 7-yard gain off of what was a 3-yard loss.
Putting yourself in a good, situation. I love the I don't know what the yardage they've been getting on first down. They've got to be averaging over 5 yards on first down, which has put them in a really good situation for second and third down.
So Simpson wide to the right. Slot, there's the pitch back to Kinney, who's going to take it forward almost to the first down. He's going to be about a half-yard short, maybe a yard
Sophomore
short.
Andrew Kinney on the carry.
The thing with that is, as a running back, you got to keep going outside, even if you don't see it. I feel like you have 2 receivers out there blocking 2 DBs. You
Brett
still get
Harrison,
some
number
more yards
53
than
on the
probably would have
stop.
got running back inside towards where everybody's at.
Well,
So Kenny with the 3-yard gain up to the 50 will bring up a short 3rd and 1. Don't want to take anything for granted here.
under center, I gotta believe it.
There's the give straight ahead to Cadillo, and he got it. He's right there. Well, he's short. Well, okay. One guy's marking it about the 49.5. One guy's, they gave the far side, which is his call, so he's still going to be about a half yard short.
I don't know about that play, but I got a big quarterback. I'm not going to stand there at the line of scrimmage while he's waiting for the back to hit the hole. DJ, we've given up about 2 seconds of blocking time. I just turn CJ in, just take him over center.
And if you're a good linebacker right there, you're
Ladies and gentlemen,
already at the line of scrimmage, getting off your offensive lineman right there, being able to come up and make a tackle right there.
It's your snap count. You know what you're going on. You're the quarterback.
Right.
There's no reason why. Anyway, we can question it all night long, but I'd be surprised if we don't see sneak here.
And there it is. And I don't think he got it, guys. Oh, he did. He did get it. The far lineman gave it to him.
Call.
The far lineman.
From here, it didn't look like the
near line judge wasn't there. The far line judge who could see the ball because the ball CJ turned to the west sideline. They gave it to him. So give him a yard.
The South fans.
Might have to turn down the field mic again.
The South fans were second guessing that call, Dave. I hear a couple people out there thinking they didn't like that call.
And one thing we couldn't see is where the ball was. If you're looking at just him and his helmet, he did get stood up, what looked like right there, maybe short. But he must have just got the ball across because I think they gave him about a whole football more than I thought he got looking at him from the side. There's the give to Gilliard. We're going to have a penalty. So Gilliard has a 4-yard run that's going to be negated by a holding penalty off West. So holding on West.
Penalties is just really impressive.
And again, it's you hate to say it, but we're getting sloppy here. We did a pretty good job of staying under control for the first half, and a lot of things going on down there. It's getting a little chippy out there, and
even with it being the second game of the year, there's still too many hold penalties. That's just something that you've learned as long as you've played football is not to hold. Stay in front of your defender and keep him in front of you and keep your hands inside. But it doesn't look like West is doing a good job of that.
On the offset of that is a 14-yard.
From the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it's a 14-yard penalty. So 1st and 21 from the 40-yard line. And Callahan's going to get thrown down. That's going to be grounding.
I don't think they'll call
That's grounding. There's nobody out there. He's outside the tackle box.
Pass incomplete.
The ball, it went right at the line of scrimmage. So I think it may have got just past the line of scrimmage. So he was outside the tackle. I wasn't sure that the ball got past the line of scrimmage, but it must have got right there.
That's that same boot play that we've been talking about all night that they ran. And still, maybe there's something going on with that left side of the line or on that boot they can't get.
Yeah, a couple things. You had the 2 linebackers we talked about earlier, that Harrison and Tuttle both getting in and converge on that one.
2nd and 21, the reverse to Simpson. He's got a lot of room, guys. If he gets a block, he can go.
Looks like he got the first.
And he got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Right.
So he got 11 of it back.
Senior Jameer Simpson on the carry.
I feel like if he would have kept running full speed, maybe getting downhill a little bit more, maybe he got more yards. But I'm not Simpson right there on that play, but he did enough to get him back to the line of scrimmage.
And you really needed that play because if you come up with nothing there, you're third in a bad situation, and now at least you're third and manageable on the other side of the 50, which gives you some room to navigate here a little bit.
So 3rd and 9, 1:42 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Callahan's trying to look deep downfield. Oh, and he just got over Clark. Guys, I was looking at that reverse, and part of the deal with the reverse that happened is the receiver ran his man off, but ran past his man. The receiver must have been seeing some man, and so he was trying to run his guy off, but ran past him. and that's the guy who came back and made the tackle.
Right.
If he stays in front of him, gets a block, Simpson may have been able to take that.
Fourth
So,
and 9.4.
but we'll just
on
go
that
with
play, unfortunately, with the pressure that are getting on the quarterback, we don't really have time to do a hitch and go in a situation like that. And I just felt like that play was too long. It was developing.
Anderson punting for West.
And again, they're giving us the underneath ball, so let's take the underneath ball. Let's not try to go over the top. We don't need to. We're only down by a score.
So Reuben Anderson with the punt, nice line drive punt. We take it at the 13-yard line. So a 35-yard punt by Anderson. Really, give him maybe 2 yards on the return. They're going to get him up to the 15. So a 2-yard return on a 35-yard punt. And Shawnee Mission South is going to take over with 1:24 left to go here in the third quarter and a 13-6 lead. West really needs to stop, guys.
Yeah, I think so too. That's what I was just going to say, Dave. I think mentally you need to stop here. You need to know that, you know what, you need to get the offense back on track, cut back on the penalties, get the offense back on the field, move the ball a little bit.
A big play would be perfect. Interception.
Turnover would be nice here.
They need to start stripping for that ball like they've been doing recently.
There's the give to Briscoe right up the middle. He takes it forward for about 3 yards, maybe 4. And we got another penalty. We'll see who this one's on.
I think it might be on South. I think
Kyoko,
the reaction that I'm seeing, yeah.
Right there. I'm not sure what happened. I just saw him fall.
Flag on the play.
Boy, the South again, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. But you know what? We'll take it all day long.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on South. I think that may have been D. Blakemore, number 78.
It was
78 D. Blakemore.
Or 75, 070. No, it's not 75.
78 D. Blakemore, who's the tackle over there. And I tell you what, DJ, he was the one that was saying there's been some John back and forth on both sides. Meshach's doing his part to add to that on our side.
He's doing a good job talking to them. He's probably giving their head a little bit, clapping. I've seen him doing a lot of clapping in their face, and they're probably not liking that too much, even with West being down.
Is Meshach, is he a younger sibling? Because usually those younger siblings are good at agitating. He's agitating right now, and it's working.
So it was a dead ball, so that's 10 yards back from the dead ball spot. So it's going to be a first. Actually, if it's a dead ball, that shouldn't be first. It should be second down. That should be second down. Otherwise, they're just...
yeah, you're right.
So they went half. What they did is, I think they
if
made
it's
it
not
done,
dead ball, then it's 10.
Then it's half the distance to the goal.
Right.
So they're talking about whether it's dead ball or not.
Yeah, you're right.
It is dead ball, so it's still back from there, but it's second down. That's a big thing right there for West as they. Now it's second and 16 instead of what would have been probably a second and 4 or 5.
And I'm watching both teams today as they line up. While they're waiting for the ball to be called, they're still talking. There's a lot of talk going on that line.
They're letting each other know they're there. So nice job by Briscoe running up the middle. And they're going to try to strip him there, and they're going to try to get a hit. They got him stood up, and nice job by West of stopping him for about a 3-yard gain there, and now it'll be a 3rd and 13.
I like the way Simpson flew in there at the end before the whistle blew and cleaned that up a little bit, because he might have maybe gotten loose or maybe gotten a couple more yards still standing up on his feet. Simpson came and cleaned that up and knocked it to the ground.
Well, and the other thing is, you're seeing West, what do they always say? First guy hold up, second guy come in and strip. And, it'd be a great time to get a turnover right here.
Right.
You do want everybody flying to the ball, so it's good to see. So we'll see what they dial up on the 3rd and 13 here with 25 seconds left to go in the third quarter. And Roberts is going to try to cut up middle, and he's got a good
tackle. Good tackle.
Nice little shoulder stick there by Simpson that made sure Roberts knew he was there. Looks like number 44, Gage Jones, is down. on the field. We'll see. He's hobbling off.
Yeah, looks like he might have a little ankle sprain.
So a gain of 5 by Roberts there on third down. Will bring up a 4th and 8, and looks like the clock will run out here, which is good for South because then they can punt with the wind instead of into the wind here. The clock will restart there, 3, 2, 1, and that's the end of the third quarter with a South lead of 13-6, and we'll be right back after this timeout.
After 3 quarters, Shawnee Mission South 13.
We're getting ready here for the start of the fourth quarter. Shawnee Mission South up 13-6. The only score of that quarter was a Roberts 1-yard run with 5:04 left to go after the interception that set them up with a short field. And there's the punt, and it gives Simpson a returnable catch. He's going to catch it at his 42. He's going to cut up field up to midfield. So 17-yard line.
Zach Neer with the stop. Number 2.
So a decent kick for South. We kind of hoping that West would have come away with a little better field position. But hey, Jameer, would we say he's like a 79 baseball prospect?
From the 50-yard line.
And that looked like an over-the-shoulder center fielder catch there.
He knew what he was doing. So a 41-yard punt, about an 8-yard return. West has got great field position, midfield. See what they can do here.
And again, no reason to panic. You've been moving the ball. Just cut down on the penalties, execute your plays, and you'll be fine.
So Callahan back in the shotgun. He's going to look for.
Wow.
And he did a good job of holding it until Clark cleared the linebacker dropping in the lane there, but it's still just a little too high.
South plays cover 2. And
Jameer's wide open.
You got the safety over the top, and you had the cornerback underneath. They had it pretty well played.
CJ needs to do a better job of looking just not at one receiver. Like Jameer's running down the middle of the field wide open.
I think that's it. I'm guessing that was a design play. They line up with trips right, and single receiver left, and same play.
So again, the safety over there, he threw him quite as well as he did the last time there.
Again.
And it'll be 3rd and 10. And it'd be nice if West could do a little bit here with this field position.
Yeah, you don't want to waste this opportunity. Now you just, something simple, something underneath on a play like this. You still got your trips right. They're giving you some room out there. Clear the zone, bring somebody out underneath to the sideline.
Callahan back to pass, and he's got nobody. Looks late.
Kind of close. Got the unnecessary hit earlier. The ball's kind of going high, but
by Hunter Carpenter.
So the pass is incomplete on the sideline, and unfortunately, sorry about the picture there. Had to adjust the stand there.
Number 99.
Fortunately,
junior
West does
Ruben
nothing with
Anderson
really
back
good field
punt.
position here.
Now,
Hunter
what
Carpenter,
you got to hope
number
for
4,
is you didn't take any time off the clock because we've still got a full quarter. Let's get a good punt. Let's diagonally kick away from this guy. Let's pin him back. Stop the ball and let's get the ball back.
So, oh! Well, I tell you what. You know what? Gage Jones recovered from his ankle injury right there just a second ago.
And I'll tell you what, I didn't expect to see Carpenter get up after that one. I received a few punts in my day, and on a punt like that, I'm going to call fair catch.
Well, yeah, you probably should.
I saw nothing but 5 guys coming at me, and thank God Carpenter still got his helmet. And he's still got his faculties about him because that was a shot.
From the 17-yard line, 1st and 10, Raiders.
But that's what we needed. We pinned him back deep. He got the ball inside the 17-yard line. Now the defense has got to go to work.
So 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the their own 17-yard line. We'll see what they do here. I'm guessing they'll keep it on the ground, but we'll see how they do. Roberts is going out. That's a pitch actually possibly forward.
Oh, I thought he fumbled.
And there's that.
Briscoe on the carry.
78
There's
55
that
are
talking.
getting into it.
Yeah.
Again.
So
There's some
Blake Moore and Kyoko, who were dancing partners down here at the end of the third quarter, are getting on the same dance card again. We'll see how that one ends up.
Let's just keep it between the whistles because there's going to be some flags flying.
So a gain of 2 by Roberts there will bring up 2nd and 8 from the 20-yard line. There's a give to Briscoe right up the middle, and he doesn't have a lot there, but he pushes forward to the 22 for a gain of about
Briscoe again on the carry.
2 more.
Tackled by Kyoko.
And there's a case for that.
2-3 more.
You know, blow the whistle a little earlier. What's happening is standing guys up. Guys are taking extra shots, and it doesn't help the situation.
So it'll be 3rd and 5 from the 22-yard line. South has 10:19 left to go here in the game.
I find it hard to believe that they would pass.
No, I would too. Trying to pick up a crucial first down, although they roll out. He's looking for the throw.
Oh, Wesley. He missed it.
Did he get it?
No,
Nope.
he didn't get it.
Clark had a chance at the interception. It comes out of his hands at the 35, 36-yard line.
Incomplete.
So that'll bring up 4th down. What the funniest thing is, it could have been. We talked about how mirrored the scores were in the first half. They score after an interception in deep in the territory and come up with that. We would have had a turnover deep in their territory too.
You know, it really didn't take much time off the clock. We still have 10 minutes left and a real good opportunity to get some good field position.
See what
West sets up a
Simpson can
turn
get here. Nice booming kick. What a kick.
Wow.
Simpson's going to take it at his own 25-yard line. He's not going to have much. He needs to go down there. Oh, he maybe not. He can go. Oh, and what a block. Simpson's got all kinds of room. 40, 45, 50. He could go all the way. He's coming back one more time. Oh, and he gets pulled down.
He was down.
At the 32-yard line. And he's down. They're going to call him down. There's flags back here. We're going to have a block in the back here at the 25-yard line. So instead of starting at the 32-yard line of
25-yard line.
Shawnee Mission South, we're going to be starting at our own 15-yard line, which is unfortunate. I tell you what, watching him going, I think he should go down because I thought he was going to take a shot the way he was getting stood up there, and he was able to get out of that.
Well, it just shows his opportunity to make things happen, Dave. I mean, he's one missed tackle away from breaking it almost every play. So
there's that rubber piece in there.
No flag on the play.
Okay, so we may want to turn off the field mic there for a little while because They called it a legal block, so they picked up that call. And I think what they were calling it, I did think it was
It was
legal.
a legal
I thought he
block
got
for
his.
sure.
I thought he was.
He was in front of him.
His hat was ahead of him.
Well, don't waste this opportunity.
Okay.
So you got great field position for the second drive in a row. You're starting at their 32-yard line. You got to make something happen here with 9:40 left to go here in the game. There's the give to Kenny. He's going to take it forward for about 5.
There you go.
Sophomore Andrew Kinney on the carry.
And that's kind of, that's kind of what I wanted to see the last drive. We kind of came out shooting right away and missed 2 early passes, and we got to a third down in another passing situation. Here, ran the ball first down. We've been getting at least 5 yards on every first down play.
Oh, we got a guy down for us.
So a gain of 4, not 5 on that play. West has a player down on the field. Little injury timeout here right now. So talk really quick about some of the stuff that went in this week in West Sports. Right last night, the freshmen got their first win of the year, going even their record at 1-1 with a 33-0 win over Shawnee Mission South. Volleyball dropped a match to Olathe South last night in 4 games. Tough game. Is that Cadillo coming off here?
Yeah, it was Cadillo.
So
yeah, it looked
Cadillo's
like
coming off.
Cramp.
And the boys soccer team bounced back with from a tough week last week with 2 wins over Olathe South and Lee Summit North this week, and that sets them up to playing the championship in the Blue Valley Classic.
I think that's 2 years in a row they've made it to the championship, I believe. Yeah.
And they get a chance to avenge their loss to Shawnee Mission East, who I think they'll play in the championship game. So we'll see what we got here. 32nd and 6. There's the give to Gilliard. I think he had a seam maybe to the outside that he could have kept going, but he cuts it back in and no gain. Well, I'm sorry, a gain of about 1. We'll give him 2. It's going to be give him a gain of 2, and it'll be 3rd and 4 here. And I tell you why, you're looking at 2 down.
I was gonna say you're in 2 down territory right here, and
8:43.
even if you don't get it, you're still fine.
There's the pass.
Wow!
Just through the
And
just through the hands of Clark. A little bit of high pass, and
he's throwing
Wesley
it 100
probably
miles
could have
an
made
hour too.
Just amped up a little bit. Yeah, and what we talked about earlier, the opportunities are there. Our receivers just have to sit down in the holes, find the open spots, and just get the ball to them and hang on.
So that'll bring up a 4th and 4. West will need to get. They get to the 22, they've got it. About the 22 and a half is where they need to go. So big play here. 8:37 left to go in the game. And there's the pass to Simpson, and he drops the ball. So they won't get a chance. And that's 2 guys. That's 2 series in a row that West has really not done anything with great field position.
Yeah, it's interesting. We kind of gotten away from our pedigree a little bit. We're a running team, and I even though I love passing the ball. I think in some of these situations, in that when we thought it was 2 down territory, I think with 5 yards, I think I run the ball and see what I get on my first play. If I'm close, then I get an opportunity to run again. But when I miss that play, then I'm almost setting myself up for another passing situation, and there we have it. Now, the good news is, lots of time still on the clock. You still have all your timeouts, and you still have them deep in their territory. But again, we're squandering, as you said, Dave, we're kind of squandering our opportunities. We've had the short field, which is exactly what we want, and we're just not taking advantage of it.
So Shawnee Mission South will take a timeout here with 8:33 left to go here in the game. We'll look a little bit at these were the stats at the end of the 3rd quarter. Again, a 13-6 Shawnee Mission South lead. Total offense right there again, 198, 169 for Shawnee Mission South. And again, flip-flopped on rushing yards and passing yards. But South's starting to tack on quite a few yards, 164 yards.
Rushing.
They're rushing, and I was looking at the stats from last year. I think they had 304. No, that was away at the north. South didn't have as many yards rushing last year, but they still won a game 33 to 14 over West. So we're back here for a 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. There's the give to Briscoe. We're going to have a penalty.
We're going to hold, yeah.
We're going to probably have on Parrish Bruce.
Briscoe on the carry.
So that's going to, a gain of 3 is going to come back.
Holding Raiders.
A 10-yard holding penalty is going to bring that back.
And you know what?
I was just getting ready to say something about the penalties, that there hasn't really been that many. I mean, not as many as last week, but I mean, they've been big, costly penalties, but there hasn't been, quite as many as last week.
I think that just put South over 100 for the game.
Yeah.
So, and their 12th penalty. Now, they just played in the hands of West in that one. You dropped them back 10 yards. You know they're going to run the ball. They got to eat up some clock. If I'm going to attack, this is my time to attack.
So it'll be 2nd and about 18. And there's the give to Briscoe right up the middle. The one thing that West is starting to do a little bit with their linebackers, and DJ talked about this earlier, is they're starting to put their linebackers up in the.
Well, they bring them up every play, but then they
Yeah.
just drop back. They don't ever blitz.
But I think they're trying to get that quarterback into changing just to clog those to make a different read. So a 2nd and 13 after that gain of 5.
And I can just tell by this package, this ace package they have, and it's a running package. They run about 70% out of this package. So I'd be really surprised if they pass out of this.
Way.
They're going to bring the man.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
there
a pitch.
You go.
And they're trying to get the ball there. So a gain of about 2, maybe 3 on that will bring up a huge 3rd and
By number 20.
10 yards, maybe 11, just about 10 and a half yards. This is a big play again. 7:12 left to go here in the game. West needs to stop big time on this play, this 3rd and 10.
And I think you're going to see him bring everybody on this one again.
There's the
There you go, attack line script. Now, that's where he's been so effective today.
Oh, that's a face mask.
No.
Unfortunately, Gentry just got his hands up a little high. I don't think he needed to. He was being able to ride him out of bounds short of the 1st down, and he just let that hand get up. It's gonna be a face mask.
That's just unfortunate, Dave. As you said, he played contained. He had the sideline to his outside. All he had to do was continue to just kind of drive him out of bounds. And again, it's easy said than done.
Face mask. Personal foul.
So personal 15-yard personal foul face mask penalty because everything's 15. There's not a 5 or a 15 anymore. It's just 15.
Okay, I was going to say I didn't realize that, but I was going to say even if it was a 5 based on where the penalty occurred, it still would have been a 1st down, but it wouldn't have been 15 yards.
Yeah, so that 15 yards will take it up to the 47.5-yard line of South, and 1st and 10 with 6:49 left to go. And again, West really needs to stop.
They're going to run the ball, boys, so bring everybody in the box.
Roberts trying to, the one thing that's interesting here in Hawkins with the hit there to finish Roberts off. The one thing you're seeing with Roberts is a lot of cutback runs here. That the 3rd down play right there was a cutback. That's a cutback.
Yeah, going away from power. He does a really nice job of doing that.
So a gain of 2 there on 2nd down, and that'll bring up on 1st down will bring up a 2nd and 8. Coming down to almost 6 minutes left to go here in the game. There's the give straight ahead to Carpenter, who's going to take it into West territory, about to the 49-yard line.
Let go.
And God.
No, not right in front of the referee.
And now West is going to get another 15-yard penalty after what would have brought up a 3rd and 6. It's going to give him a first down after what's going to be an unsportsmanlike.
It's going to be like a taunting.
It's going to be an unsportsmanlike on Kyoko. It's going to give him another first down. So that's the tough thing, guys. You know, once on 3rd down, once here on 2nd down, to give them first downs on both plays.
And you know, I can live with hands in the face. The last one, Gentry, obviously he's not trying to do that. His hand gets caught up in the face mask. That one I have trouble with. You have a stop at the line of scrimmage. I know you're excited, you're gunned up, but not in front of the referee. You can't be throwing the guy back after the whistle's blown 3 seconds.
And I think it was more of the little celebration there at the end. They got an unsportsmanlike. So 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line for South. And there's the keeper by Roberts, who's going to try to take it outside and runs by a couple of would-be tacklers for a gain of 7 all the way up to the 29-yard line.
And I hate to sound like a broken record, but still, you know, it's not panic time yet. Let's concentrate on assignments, concentrate on getting the stop. Still lots of time to get the ball back to do everything on offense, but you can't let them score here.
You can't give up any points, even a field goal. You can't do that. So 5.5 left to go here. 2nd and 3 from the 29-yard line. West is trying to disrupt the line a little bit, but there's the snap back. The keeper by Roberts.
Right by the quarterback.
A really nice job, a nice read by Roberts, because
and stay in bounds. I mean, he could have gone out easily, and he was smart enough to stay in bounds and keep the clock going.
The West outside linebacker ran right by Roberts on that keeper, and Roberts kept it, tucked it, made a really nice read, and went all the way up to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, that was Kenny just over pursued.
Yeah, Mike, as we were talking about, you know, Roberts only had 20 yards rushing in the first half. He has 62 in this half, so he's really changed it up in this half. There's the give to Carpenter right up the middle, and he gashes it for 8 yards.
Yeah, West has got to collect themselves here. We got a man down,
and I think we got maybe a knee right there or an ankle. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
We'll see what we got here. So as we were looking at we're talking about this is the end of the 3rd quarter stats here, 13-6. Those rushing yards, 164 yards rushing by Shawnee Mission South, are really starting to pile up now. I think they've got to be probably up easily into the 200s, low 200s in yards rushing.
No, and I think, you know, what I've seen on this drive, David, and you pointed out in the play earlier, is they're not doing anything different than what they did in the early. I mean, it's still kind of read option, but what's happening with West is they're getting over anxious, they're over pursuing. And they're over pursuing the ball, which is then Roberts is reading on that, pulling the ball out, and then making some good runs off it.
To our supporters this year, Johnny's at Dining Griffin Metcalf, Constantino's at Price Chopper, Houlihan's in Leewood, Ivy,
that's our Johnny's.
Hales and Associates.
Looks like
Costco, Bob Allen Ford.
Looks like it might be Julian Chavez is down.
And Deborah King and Associates Rehabilitation.
And at this point, you just hope it's nothing serious, but he is.
Well, because the Shawnee Mission South guys were waving the trainers over from our side, so you know he was probably hurting pretty bad.
Yeah.
So here's the updated stats here with 4:55 left to go here in the fourth quarter. 13-6, Shawnee Mission South lead over West. And that's where I was saying it's starting to pile up. 219 yards rushing now for Shawnee Mission South.
Yeah, and I think the biggest part of that is not just the rushing yards, but the amount of clock. I'd like to see what I wonder what the difference in clock, Dave, just from all those rushing yards.
We're looking at I think it's the starting linebacker for tonight who started in Luke Jones' position tonight, who was down with a injury. So that inside spot, we'd be down to our second, third string. At least our fourth linebacker, the two inside spots after this. But you're looking at those stats, 219 now, and that's starting to pile up.
Yeah, and it's in what we were discussing earlier. It's just an indication of, I think, West defense trying to be a little aggressive. And we've seen a lot of missed tackles out there, whether it's going for the ball or just over pursuing. But South's taking advantage of that. And Roberts does a nice job of running that option, and he's making some good reads.
So it looks like number 42, Julian Chavez, is the injured player for West right now. What we're talking about is right now we have just the second half stats in there. And guys, we talked about this last week. Is West came out really nicely, a 14-0 lead, and then couldn't get anything generated. Definitely score-wise.
Yeah.
But you're looking at those second half stats. Outscored 7-0 in this half. The big number there I see is you got 124 yards rushing to 43, and actually even 60. Your total offensive, you're doubled up by Shawnee Mission South.
Right.
Well, and Roberts probably has over half of that, easy.
He does. He's all up almost to 70 yards rushing in this half out of the 124. And the tough part about that, also, West had two really good drives starting at the 50-yard line and the 32-yard line. Got no yardage out of the one that started at the 50. Got maybe 4 yards of the one that started at the 32-yard line. Turned both of them. Had to punt on one. Had to turn over on downs on the other.
Kind of what's jumping out at me, Dave, when I look down at the stats is a couple things uncharacteristic to West. Is you got 11 pass attempts, only 2 completions. So obviously nothing going on there. You're still doing all right with the rush. You've got 10 attempts on rushing for 43 yards. You're averaging 4.3 yards per carry. You'd like to think that we need to take a little bit more advantage of that. Now, we're in a situation in the game where the clock is at this point, even if you do get a stop, you're going to have to pass a little bit. But where we had success in the first half, Dave, passing the ball, not the success this half, and I think it's just maybe kind of a difference in some of the plays. Now, there has been a couple guys there's been a couple drop balls. We've missed a couple guys, so it's not like maybe the opportunities weren't there. We're just not executing.
So they're helping Julian Chavez off the. I'm sorry, I said Julian Chavez. I think it's Julian Cuevas.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Off the field now on a cart.
I hate to see that because they've got his leg in a mobilizer and
Price injury to the lower leg on the left leg. So that'll bring us back here.
you know as much as I hate to say it, I don't like to see anybody get hurt, but just the delay in game sometimes can be a momentum changer. Let's hope that maybe we can take advantage of this.
2nd and 2 from the 10-yard line. There's the give right up the middle. It's going to get the first down. He's down to the 7-yard line. That looks like Carpenter all the way down to the 7. So a gain of 3 on 2nd and 2.
Yeah, and if I can, if there's something positive to look forward to, their kicking game has struggled. You know, if we can get a stop, there's no such thing as a sure field goal at this point.
Yeah.
You just got to focus on you got to stop 10 yards. Well, now we're inside the 10. Stop 9 yard.
So 4:28 left to go here in the game. South has a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. And you obviously know that ball's going to stay on the ground here.
Yeah, and if I'm South, I'm keeping it in the hands of my quarterback.
And he's going to pitch it out forward.
Yeah,
Was that not forward?
It was. It's whether it's behind the line of scrimmage.
Right. He was definitely behind the line of scrimmage.
It's whether you call that a run
it
or
could be a shovel
pass.
Yeah.
I actually do think it was forward.
It's almost like an option. So we're looking on a tape delay here just to take a look at it. Yeah, it was forward.
Definitely forward, and it was behind the line of
scrimmage.
So that's going to go down as a 7-yard touchdown pass from Roberts to, I would say, it's Carpenter, or is that the Spinner series?
You know what? I wasn't paying attention to that either, Dave.
So Will Huggins.
Oh, it was
Will Huggins. So I'm going to give that's Will Huggins' second. Oh, no, that was the extra point for Will Huggins. So we'll look at that. But 20-6, South lead with 4:08 left to go.
Yeah, and the same woes for West this week as we just talked about. Scoring early, first drive, and then not being able to sustain, an offense beyond the first quarter.
When you need your biggest stop of the game to force a punt, you get 2 stupid penalties.
Yeah, absolutely.
That were just uncalled for. I mean, the face mask happens. Face mask happen, but like that personal foul just.
No, you're right. That was a key play. We had a big penalty. We didn't need. At this point, I'd like to get the ball in the hands of Jameer because he's my big play guy.
So Timmich with that touchdown. That's
return that
no
one.
chance. I tell you what, Carpenter's got a big leg. No, I'm sorry. Huggins got a pretty big leg.
Well, it's a long leg. He's 6'6".
Yeah, he can kick it a long way. So Nolan Timmich with that touchdown with 4:08 left to go. 20-6 Raider lead. The kickoff goes through the end zone, so West will come out of the 20-yard line.
You can't go for the home run ball right away. They're going to be playing deep. They got cover 2, double safety, so you're not going to be able to go to the middle of the field. You're going to have to go to the sidelines. There you go.
There's the throw out to Simpson. Is going to get about 6.
I think everybody's
we'll
over there
7.
Asking for a horse collar, but
well, it was for sure.
So 7 yards for number 7 on that reception.
Now we just need to keep it
to
moving.
Hurry up, boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why does Callahan go all the way to the
sideline? If West has a no huddle,
they're bringing a.
No.
We had 12,
you got substitution.
We had 12 guys.
Yeah, that was not good.
If you're in the huddle with 12 guys, you got to get one guy out of the huddle. That's why you'll see quarterbacks a lot of times. I tell you what, they threw that a little earlier.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. He probably still chomping at the bit about the horse collar.
Oh, it was unsportsmanlike.
Yep.
Interesting. It wasn't 12 men. So an unsportsmanlike at 15-yard. We'll say it's half the distance to the goal. So instead of 2nd and 3, it's going to be 2nd and 15, so it ends up being a 8-yard penalty. I'm sorry. It was a 12-yard penalty. 12-yard penalty on West. 3:37 left to go here in the game. There's the give to Gilliard. He's going to try to get out wide, get out of bounds.
Okay, smart. 15 yards.
Most of that penalty back, so he gets up a gain of 13. Excuse me, gain of 10, 9. I'll get to the right number here in a second. Gain of 9 up to the 24-yard line will bring up a 3rd and 6, and obviously West is in 4-down territory here, down 20-6.
Right.
3:30 left to go.
They're going to be playing a little bit soft. So,
Callahan's trying to get tipped the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete.
That play was kind of doomed from the beginning. Had a lot of pressure up the middle. And by the time the receivers come free, then they're covered by the time CJ gets open.
So a 4th down and 6, and obviously one of the last gasps for West here. They need to convert with 3:24 left. Callahan trying to get out. He can't get out of that one. He's down at the 10-yard line. It's a loss of 14 there on the play, and West is going to take over, and South's going to take over. We'll give it a loss of 12. Loss of 12, and South will take over 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. And the unfortunate thing here is not that, it's probably going to go down as a loss either way, but another score
just
doesn't make as close as it really was.
Right.
But the unfortunate thing is, guys, we're going to look back here in the second half. West is probably going to have about 50 total yards of offense in the second half.
Probably less because they just lost about 12 on that.
Yeah, I know. They had 60 before that, so they're going to go with about 50 yards of total offense.
And we just call a timeout.
And South's going to have probably over 200. Right at 200.
And South didn't get any better with the penalties. I mean, they had just as many penalties in the second half as they did in the first half. We just couldn't capitalize on the opportunities we have. We had 2 short fields we made mistakes on. Chris pointed out earlier, just kind of a key, 3rd down stop, and then we got a stupid penalty to extend the drive, which ended up turning into a touchdown. So it's frustrating. I mean, these are, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. They're going to make mistakes, but it just it comes back to haunt you.
Absolutely does. Some other sports this week in West. Cross country team will have a meet in St. Louis tomorrow. Gymnastics had a meet last night. Apologize, don't have the results of that one. And the girls golf, JV won their first tournament of the year against in Shawnee Mission North and Shawnee Mission Northwest. And tennis team took on Shawnee Mission North yesterday. So coming into here, first and 10 at the 12-yard line. South. Robertson, the shotgun. There's the give to Carpenter. He's going to bounce it outside, and he's going to score, guys. So a 12-yard run by Carpenter with 3:11 left to go here. And that'll definitely probably do it right there. So, first play, Carpenter with a 12-yard run, guys, and that'll pretty much do it.
It doesn't really surprise you, though, right? When game gets away this late, you can tell by the look on West defense is basically just beat down at this point.
Huggins in for the extra point again. Gets that 6'6" leg right into it. Nice kick. That makes it 27-6. And that missed extra point earlier is really on the snap. Not so much of his. It was just a timing thing.
Right.
Not so much the kick. Kid's got a big time leg.
That's a big time leg. I was gonna say for West when you come back on this drive, you could bury your head in the sand and feel sorry for yourself, or you can come out this last drive. You got 3 minutes left. Let's see what you can do. Let's see if you can make your offense churn. It doesn't mean anything from a outcome standpoint. It doesn't make the scoreboard look that much better, but it gives you some momentum. It gives you something to look forward to next week that you can move the ball and you can execute. I'm going to tell my guys, hey, let's be smart. Let's see what we can do, and let's execute on this drive and see if we can score a touchdown. But again, same thing that plagued us from last week is after coming out in the first quarter and having a nice drive and scoring, we couldn't manage any points the rest of the game.
Whoopsie daisy.
Who takes it about the 5, gets it up to about the 13-yard line for a 8-yard return on that kick. Yeah, and Mike, you're talking about it. West is 20 to nothing in the first quarter of the last 2 games, and since then has been outscored 43 to nothing in the last 3 quarters.
Yeah, and I'm not going to read that from a defensive standpoint. From a defense standpoint, it really didn't do that bad until probably this last quarter. It's really just the offense just hasn't been able to execute. When they got some momentum going, then they had a penalty that would stall a drive. So
Kenny there with a 1-yard gain up to the 19, and what was the really decisive score there that made it 20-6. We also gave him 30 yards on penalties, one on a 3rd down and one on a 2nd down.
Oh, no.
Flag on the play.
Come on, ref. Jeez.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there will be a 15-yard penalty. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Shawnee Mission South. Give West the first down there.
I think Whitehead has had enough of this game, and you still got talking back and forth on both sides of the ball, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, you did have your jaw in there, and it's not going to – I don't think it's going to change here with 2.5 minutes left in the game.
The surprising part is why they leave that guy on the field. Somebody's coming off. I don't know if he –
55 Hartzell goes down. Cadu with the carry for about a 2-yard gain, and another.
Okay. Well, Perry Spruce just offset his great play by celebrating a little too much, and we got another flag.
The one thing is, if that's 66, I don't know if in college he would be out of the game. So we'll give Cadu a 2-yard gain and a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. Actually, the first one was a personal foul, not unsportsmanlike, so that's his first unsportsmanlike.
And we got a timeout.
I think he's calling timeout just to chew and try to get their heads back in it and not be stupid.
I give Coach credit on that. This is getting ridiculous at this point in the game. He's calling these guys over and saying, "Come on, let's have some class." There's a lot to be said for what's on the scoreboard, but the other thing to be said for do it in a classy way. And he's down there right now reading the riot act, which I'm glad he is. To West side, again, I don't want to march downfield on penalties. I'd like to get there on some of my own merit. You still have 2:19 left. you can either just run it up the middle and hope the game to be over, or you can try to do something constructive with this and try to actually make a drive out of it.
When you haven't scored in the last 3 quarters of both games, you got to try to do something positive here.
Right. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of new players on the west side, but maybe I'm.
Leo Williams in the backfield, senior.
That was a West moved a little bit earlier, but didn't get the call.
Yeah.
So Leo Williams, number 88, with the carry, no gain on the play.
Brett Harrison on the stop.
Hey guys, if you want some good news, Manhattan High beat Topeka High tonight.
Oh, hey,
21-20.
Does that usually not happen? It probably
No, it was number 5, number 6 game.
Oh, really?
In 6A, number 5 versus number 6.
Wow.
In 6A, Manhattan
So
High.
just straight up Topeka High?
Yes.
Huh.
Manhattan High stopped him. Topeka High's 2-point conversion on the last play of the game and won 21-20. So Callahan scrambles around, loss of about 3 on the play. He didn't have much. We'll give him a loss of 2. So didn't have much there. They were back on him early.
Right. But again, they use this time to try to execute some of those quick hitting plays. Over the middle, find the seams. You know their defense has got to be playing soft, so no reason to go downfield. Let's just let's find something open over the middle, sit down in coverage.
So that snap takes us under a minute to play. Williams is going to take it forward back to the original line of scrimmage for a 2-yard gain. So Williams with the 2-yard gain on second down will make it 3rd and 10.
We got fourth down.
Oh, don't.
Oh, excuse me, 4th and 10. Yeah, so 3rd down. So 29 seconds left, 15 on the play clock. So we're going to get one more play out of West here, and then if they don't convert, you'll see South go to a knee for one play. Callahan in the shotgun. He's going to look deep to Clark. Doesn't have enough room. He's going to run it out of bounds, or he's going to be tackled short of the out of bounds. No gain on the play, and West will turn it over on downs with 5 seconds left to go, and you'll see South go to a knee and complete a 27-6 South win over the West Vikings. And we were talking about, pregame is last year, that was the first time that South had beat West in 20 years, and now it's 2 years in a row.
Yeah, and I don't know what the stat is over the Callahan era, but I think that's only the second loss I think Callahan's ever had to South.
Yeah, Callahan was 13-0 going into last year, and now it's 13-2. Roberts will go to a knee, and the last seconds will tick off here. Final score, 27-6, Shawnee Mission South over the Shawnee Mission West Vikings, and we'll be right back after this timeout. So we're back here in the final, 27-6, Shawnee Mission South over Shawnee Mission West. Looking at some second half stats, just second half only. The big thing steps out, 21-0, Shawnee Mission South, score-wise. Total offense, 146 to 67, 139 yards on the ground, and in that half, just for Shawnee Mission South.
Yeah, and you look at West stats, which are pretty dismal, but the big thing that jumps out at me is a couple things: the turnover and the penalties. You're 5 for 62. 5 for 62 is a game's worth of penalties. So we talked about trying to control that. I don't know what we had in the first half, but I think that puts us over 100. Now, South wasn't any better. They were an embarrassing 7 for 65, and I think they had a total of probably about 18 altogether, 14 for 131, and West was just under 100, but
yeah, that's tough. 100 yards of penalties, basically 131 yards from the other team. That's the tough thing is, last week Northwest had almost 150 yards of penalties, and this week Shawnee Mission South has 130 yards of penalties.
You can't take advantage.
Still can't take advantage of it. For the game, first down's pretty close. Total offense, you got 90 yards difference there, 93 yards difference, all really in the second half. That was a neck and neck ball game, score wise, yardage wise. There at the end of the first half, and it just didn't materialize after that.
No, and you can't. I'd like to give credit to South. You got to give credit to South. Their offense executed really well. Disappointing how chippy the game got and all the penalties that they had in there. A little disappointing too that you could kind of shut down Roberts in the first half, but you couldn't shut them down in the second half because we played the same game. It wasn't like they came out and did something different. They ran the same plays. We just weren't able to contain them. I think the big part of the day for me was that we don't keep stats on that, but there's just on the clock how much the South controlled the ball, which put our defense on the field an exorbitant amount of time, and there was a lot of missed tackles, and it just got real sloppy at the end of the game.
We got to get our stats guy on that time of possession. I don't know. We can give him a stopwatch. He'll be fine.
But the only thing I think if you look at time of possession, I gotta believe it was pretty lopsided.
Yeah. So some individual stats. Callahan finishes 9 of 26 for 103 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Gilliard with 45 yards rushing and 11 carries. Kinney 26 yards rushing on 10 carries. West finishes with 79 yards rushing all told. Wesley Clark 2 catches for 21 yards. Simpson 2 for 29. Humphreys 1 for 7. Cadillo on that coming out of the backfield has 3 catches for 38 yards. Pretty nice right there.
Right.
And as we look at probably what's the biggest thing, you go in here, you look at Roberts, 34 yards. Well, let's skip passing for a second. He was 5 of 10 for 41, not a lot. But look at him, first half to second half. Roberts went from 11 attempts, 20 yards in the first half, 9 attempts, 62 yards in the second half. So he was 20 for 82. Really picked that up. You take back that 65-yarder that got taken back, and you're talking about 140, 150 yards of rushing there.
Why does it feel like he ran for more than that? It just seems like he was well over 100. But
so, and Carpenter adds 33 yards. Briscoe is probably the workhorse tonight a little bit, just from not as many carries, but when Roberts wasn't getting the deal, they were giving it to Briscoe most of the time. 107 yards on 14 attempts. Not a lot, 5 yards, 5 receptions for 41 yards. Carpenter and Timich both had touchdown catches, though. That was the big thing. 2 touchdown catches for receptions for Shawnee Mission South.
And that was kind of a backbreaker at the end of the first half. Just letting South have that long sustained drive all the way downfield. You hold them within 5 seconds of the end of the period, and you give up that touchdown. Now, again, it made it a 0-0 game at half. You come out, the game's tied, starting off a brand new game. You let them take the ball first drive, and refresh me if I'm wrong. They took the first drive down and scored on the
second drive.
Second
they
drive.
scored with
Okay.
5 minutes, 5:04 left to go.
That's
here
right.
in the.
That's right.
So there was one punt, one exchange of punts there, and they scored with 5:04. So the scoring recap was West again scores first, 18 seconds left in the first quarter, 22-yard touchdown pass from Callahan to Simpson made the extra point was off the upright, 6-0. Last play of the first half, and I think was huge. What a momentum change, because you instead of 6-0, you go in tied at 6-6. Roberts a 15-yard touchdown pass to Huggins on the last play of the first half. Extra point snap was botched, and it was 6-6 at halftime. Roberts with the only score of the third quarter, a 1-yard run off of following a interception, a West interception. 5:04 left to go in the third quarter, made it 13-7. Huggins with the extra point. Then 2 scores there in the second half for South. Roberts a 7-yard touchdown pass to Timich with 4:08 left to go in the game, and then made it 20-6, and with 3:11 left to go, it was a 27-6 lead after Carpenter's 12-yard run right after they turned it over on down. So
I was trying to think that Timich touchdown pass really was it was a shovel pass, but it ended up being kind of an option left where he pitched the ball forward. It actually was more like a shuffle pass. I mean, the pass is a pass. But I was trying to think. I could not recall that pass over the top.
and guys, so that brings it to 0-2 on the season. That's tough because you look at these first 2 games and you think both of these games are winnable games, and they come out fairly well. Again, talking about the first quarter, West has outscored opponents 20-0. In the last 3 quarters, they've been outscored 43-0.
Yeah, and I think you just have to go back to the playbook and say, hey, what are we doing differently? What wasn't working right? Now, the interesting part about it was I made the comment in the third quarter because it was their first drive. They were looking really good. DJ, I thought the flow of the game was good, but then they got themselves into a couple penalties, and it just completely stalled that drive. I mean, they must have executed like 3 first downs, and then all of a sudden, penalty, and they stall. And then a couple short fields, which we weren't able to take advantage of. I think twice we had the ball with less than 50 yards or 55 yards.
50-yard line and 32-yard line on starting 2 drives and not getting anything out of that one at the 50 and 4 yards out of one at 32.
Right, and again, I criticize myself because I love to see us pass the ball, but it was interesting to me on a couple of those drives where we were 3 and out, and I think 3 passing plays and not any rushing plays.
The same play.
Yeah, and almost in a situation like that, when you're over midfield, you have a short field. Boy, I sure want to come out kind of with a run and see, like I said, if I pick up 5 yards, now I'm in a really good position. I don't execute. I miss the pass. Now I'm passing again. I don't execute the second pass. Now I'm in a for sure passing situation. I'm 3 and out, and I did nothing with a short field, and I didn't really pin them back either because I didn't even move forward.
Right. So guys, we talk about these were 2, and they were winnable games to start off, and you wanted to get off in these first 2 games well because the next 2 games get really, really difficult. You got Olathe North and Lawrence Free State at Free State. Olathe North back here, but God, we saw last year Olathe North. Arlen Bruce ran crazy. They had 200-yard rushers. They ran for 315 yards in that game against us, and it was just a really, really difficult game. And they're going to have to strap it on next week. DJ, what do you see? I know when you were here, you didn't have the same situation where you have to bounce back from 2 games like this, but what do you got to do as a player to keep your head up?
As a player, honestly, you just got to mend with your team. Saturdays are normally the days where you're sitting there watching film, Saturday mornings, and that's when you, as a leader, there's Callahan, who's the quarterback, and then there's other seniors that are there. That's the day you need to sit and talk with your team and just point out points that you saw in film that you guys need to work on as a unit. They didn't really mend well as much second half as they did first half. They were getting everything executed pretty well first half on offense, and then second half came around and they kind of just didn't look like they wanted to be out there and play, and that's just something you got to continue to do. You got to come out second half with the exact same energy, or at least more energy than you had through the first half, because the second half somebody's going to play harder because somebody wants to win, and they didn't look like they wanted to win in that second half.
And we definitely saw that. That's the second week in a row that the second half hasn't been there. They're up 14-0 last week at halftime, and then came out a little bit flat in the second half, and really the same here in the second half tonight. So,
and no turnovers. Did am I right?
They had
No, we did.
We didn't force over
create any.
turnovers. No, we didn't create any turnovers.
We close to 2 fumbles, but they called them down on both of them.
Yeah, they had the short field for the go-ahead touchdown off our 1 turnover, so they did take advantage of the 1 turnover that we had.
Right.
But we said if these were 2 or more winnable games, next 2 get pretty difficult. They don't let you quit. You got to come back out and do the best you possibly can.
See, that's something right there too with that. Even if you may be the underdog for these upcoming games, you win one of those, that boosts a lot of confidence in your team. You win a game that you're not supposed to win against a high quality team and a team that absolutely just blew you guys out last year. Then you win that game, this coming up game, and win the game after that. That's 2 big games that you made up for his first 2 losses, and that can create a lot of confidence. And you still got playoff time because they don't do playoffs anymore now, and so it's kind of just straight to.
The regular season's for seeding for the playoffs, nothing else. So, yeah, you got to get back after it and work hard this week. So, well, that'll do it here from Shawnee Mission South Stadium. Again, the Shawnee Mission South Raiders win 27-6 over the Vikings. And this is David Compton saying thank you for Mike Relihan and DJ Turner, Chris Turner, and Todd Walker. We'll all be back with you next week for the Olathe North game. Some of us will be back here next week. But we'll be back here for the game most definitely. And thank you for watching. And Mike, what do we always say, win or lose though?
Hey, West is best.
So we'll see you guys next week.